welcome to Subjectively Correct.
And he's already bottled the intro.
He's already bottled.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at this guy.
Welcome to Subjectively Correct. I am Jake from Rants and Reviews with Jake. And you are?
Didn't want to introduce me?
And this is Caleb from The Final Take.
Yeah, that's right.
Today we're going to be talking about Ironheart. Unfortunately, you have the displeasure of listening to that.
Hey, no. They get to listen to us talk about
That's
it.
true. They get the pleasure of listening to us. We have the displeasure of having to talk about Ironheart.
All right, pleasurable. Might be gassing yourself up a little.
I mean, that's what you told me to say, so I don't.
I was saying they get to hear us. I never said pleasurable, or maybe I did say pleasurable. I might have been tweaking. Who knows? Someone was tweaking.
Yeah, it's all right. So
Show sucks. Breaking news.
Breaking news. It is probably the worst show I've ever watched in my life. Off the top of my head, and
yeah, it's bad. I mean, Iron Fist is bad. What is it about these shows with iron in the title?
Yeah,
Iron Fist season 1 is pretty bad. That it somehow made more sense.
Yeah, it at least had a plot. It was just bad. It was normal bad. It wasn't like this is the single worst thing I've ever seen bad.
Yeah. Dude, Iron Fist is real bad. I'd have to actually rewatch and compare it, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I also did just rewatch Iron Man 1 last night, and it's like.
Also, the thing with Iron Fist though is it did have like good fight scenes.
A couple good fight scenes.
Yeah, whereas Ironheart, like the best fight scene was like 4 seconds long, and it was just Parker killing people. So.
Yeah, well, I mean that's not that shocking.
I know. It's like in that one interview, Ryan Coogler talking about like how the action in Ironheart was super good, and how it goes from like.
In fairness, it was shot better than Daredevil Born Again. So.
It was shot better. The action was worse though.
Oh yeah, but
because there just wasn't.
Hey, at least you could see the action though. Like with Daredevil, it was cutting every 2 seconds.
That's true.
2 seconds. Actually, 2 seconds is way too long. It was like every half second, it was cutting.
Yeah, maybe
every punch. It was just cutting. So
maybe like, 2 seconds with the slow mo, and then another cut.
It's the one good fight scene in that one. It was in the first 15 minutes of the episode. Just like almost everything about that show, it all happened in the first episode. That was good. So.
Pretty much, yeah. And then
that's not the topic. We're gonna go on a whole. We can save the Daredevil rant for another time. I'm sure we can.
We could go for hours on Daredevil. But so Ironheart.
My first video was Daredevil.
Yeah.
Then that was the version that I actually posted was like my polished second version because I had a 2 hour, like hour and a half long, like full on rant about Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
And restarted because
nobody wants to watch our video about a terrible show.
Well, it was also just really long. Like it's just too long. I didn't want to edit it, and I was getting bored during editing, so I was like,
yeah.
I could say everything I wanted to say in 20 minutes, and it came out way better anyway.
Yeah, I think like the thing with Ironheart is like the action specifically is like there just wasn't any action. It's a 6-episode superhero show, and there was like technically 3 fight scenes. The one with
I will say this is gonna contain spoilers.
Spoilers.
I don't really care, and I'm sure you don't care either.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure no one cares.
I guess we should probably preface that this will have spoilers in it. The whole show is out. Took 2 weeks. I know it was a long wait between first episode release and then the finale.
Yeah.
I know. So you might not be caught up because you should be because the wait was so long and drawn out.
Yeah.
I remember the buzz when Ironheart was coming out on Disney Plus. And
yeah, I remember the 30 Twitter bots that really liked it.
I think some people actually liked it.
I mean,
so, like if you liked the show, good for you. I'm glad you could find it.
Honestly, that is good for you. If you could live in a world where you can find anything enjoyable, including Ironheart, you probably live a very happy and stupid life.
Or you don't actually think it was good and you live very sad and are mad that everyone else.
Yeah, but you're smart. If you don't like Ironheart, you at least have like a little bit of a brain.
Tell you, unless you're going out and claiming it's actually.
Yeah, if you're Come on. But my thing is like the action specifically is like there just isn't action in a 6 episode superhero show. There's like 3 fight scenes and none of them are actually good. They take like 10 seconds each and it's literally just like when Riri fights Stain, it's like that fight's over in 10 seconds and he literally just pulls her suit apart and nothing actually happens. And then when Riri fights Parker, he like shoots at her twice and she has a bulletproof suit. So like his bullet bending powers are pretty much worthless and like he kind of has super strength, but he doesn't actually get anything done with that. And then she blows him up and takes the hood off. So like,
what was the point of the whole? Wait, did she even do anything with the magic in the last episode? Because like she
kept
attacked
him from turning invisible. Is all she used.
Well, she got a okay, but she got attacked, right? Like when he looked like Morbius, he was clawing at her.
Yeah.
And then she self-destructed or whatever. I guess didn't really.
Yeah.
But and then it's the hologram, and then she just took his cloak off. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean the magic. It's like she's not actually using magic. I feel like the magic is literally just to power the suit, and then she did the invisible. Like she kept Parker from turning invisible.
No, it's powered off solar and wind.
Well, not anymore. Now it's all dark magic powered. But yeah, those tiny little fist-sized
What are you supposed to do? Build an arc
turbines.
reactor? They're not handing those things out.
Yeah, they don't just hand arc reactors out to anybody, and it's not like you can
like-
just build those.
We're probably jumping a little too much all over the place. We should. I don't know if we want to go episode by episode and kind of just talk about like.
Yeah, let's just like kind of generally.
Obviously,
follow the plot.
we both did with our first video. We both did like an actual summary kind of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I haven't watched your video yet, which by the way, Jake's got a new video out.
Yeah, I just dropped a new video this afternoon. I couldn't bring myself to do another like full breakdown because the plot is so bad that when I just try to like talk through it out loud, I feel like I'm an idiot because the plot makes no sense, but that's just what the plot is. So
Yeah,
this video is just
I-
like a quick breakdown of why Ironheart is a bad character.
Want it super in depth and like not super in depth. If you want a really good summary of it, I would watch his video, and then he gives like minor reviews of it.
If you want
Mine was
entertainment,
pretty
watch
rushed.
Caleb's. Yeah, it was more
And
entertaining though.
It's all right. It's not a great video. It's super rushed. I like the video somewhat.
I enjoyed.
I have the
watching it.
context of knowing I did it in about 6 to 7 hours. I was leaving town literally that next day, so I didn't have time. I wasn't gonna have time, and I didn't want to wait a week to get the first Ironheart video out. Clearly paid off. It did really well, but
Yeah, I remember when you
the video's
texted
not
me.
amazing.
You texted me that you finished your video, and you were like, "Normally, I would be waking up in like 8 minutes," because you stayed
no,
up all
I
night.
sent you the video. I sent you the video, and I sent you the video. I was like, "Look, I'm done. Time to go
Yeah.
to sleep. I can get a good solid 3 minutes."
Yeah, that's
You
what
gotta
it was.
scroll. You gotta scroll on your phone for the first 5 minutes too when you're laying in bed. So
Yeah, so that's a
5
good
minutes of scrolling. The alarm goes off. Then you got 5 minutes of scrolling. So it's like 3 minutes of sleep in there.
point. Yeah,
It was a really weird day because I just stayed. I took a 3-hour nap before. So I'd have some amount of energy.
yeah.
Drank a lot of ghost energy, and watched all of Ironheart in like 1.5x speed.
Yeah.
Well, not all of it. The first 3 episodes. Actually, tried to somewhat analyze. I didn't take any notes because I didn't have time, and I didn't sat down, recorded everything in one go, trying to do it off the top of my head for the most part. Realized I kind of forgot to actually say a whole lot of like problems with it when I was going back and editing later.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to record a secondary part and put that in like 2 hours later. So not to mention I still had to completely pack for my trip, which I haven't done at all yet. So
Yeah.
point being, that video, it's fun. There's some fun moments. I really like the cold open. It's a bit long, but it's my favorite cold open I made. So I really like my
fun.
Daredevil cold open too, but
Yeah. That was
I like how long it is. And
yeah.
but this one I actually like spent some time editing as opposed to the Daredevil one where it was kind of just like 2 clips thrown together and then other things. But
Yeah.
I don't mind that either. But yeah, it's pretty rushed. I'm working now on my second video. I'm not gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna do like actual plot summary. It's not gonna be the focus of the video. I'm gonna look at like what actually makes it like not a great show, kind of in general, outside of just like the usual arguments that you would hear for it. It's like actually looking at it and comparing it to something that is great. In this case, it's going to be the first Iron Man movie. I was also going to maybe do Black Panther, but honestly, I took so many notes from watching Iron Man last night that it's like if I do Black Panther as well, it's going to be like an hour video, and I already think it's probably going to be maybe somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So do you just want to like kind of generally start with episode 1 and what happens there and why it's bad?
Yeah, we can. I can skim through it.
All right.
I can pull it up here and skim through it so we can. All right, episode 1,
Yeah.
Ironheart, 1 of 6. For a little bit of context. So everything I've heard from like other people on the internet. So I don't have any sources. All right, this is this is all information you can try to find yourself on the internet elsewhere. Is that this show has been. I don't remember when. I think it wrapped filming 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
They finished filming.
I believe
in, like,
it wrapped
2022.
filming 3 years ago. Obviously, it was announced in 2020, and it was supposed to be the build-up to Armor Wars, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was supposed to tie in with Secret Invasion and be the build-up to Armor Wars. Obviously, Secret Invasion came out. I haven't even seen Secret Invasion. You watched it, right, Jake?
It was almost as bad as Ironheart. It was really bad.
Okay, I got a question, but I'll keep it in mind because we'll get to it where you actually go by episode by episode.
All right.
But
Don't freak
so it
out.
was supposed to tie in with Secret Invasion and Armor Wars, which was supposed to be like the post Tony Stark saga. Everyone who knew anything about Ironheart knew that it was probably not going to do too well.
Yeah.
Ironheart, I think we both talked about it. I don't remember if you talked about it in your video or not. In my video, I did. Ironheart was in your cold open, I remember, but
About the comics,
yeah. So
I talked about it a couple times. in the first video.
Ironheart came out in 2016. I think.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
That's when
It was
she
part of all
was
new-
introduced into
all different Marvel.
when she was introduced to Invincible Iron Man was 2016.
I think she was originally introduced in Civil War 2. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken,
but
which is
It was like
not good.
It was
But
a
it's
smaller. She was like,
well, it was how she first. I believe
Yeah.
that's how she stole her armor in the first place. In that.
yeah,
Because I think it was stolen. Like that's not even like a joke. It's like I believe in the comic it was stolen. It's been a while since I read Civil War 2. I just
Yeah.
remember Civil War 2 is not that good.
yeah,
Civil War 2 has Secret Invasion cap, which is like the Nazi cap, and
yeah. It's
got a whole Miles Morales thing, and it's not great. But
Yeah.
especially comparing it to Mark Miller's original Civil War, obviously with the Superhuman Registration Act,
yeah,
which is way better. Like
yeah,
War 2 is, and it ends basically. Civil War 2 ends with Tony Stark getting put in a coma by, I don't remember if it was Captain Marvel directly, but
yeah.
the whole Civil War 2 thing was Iron Man versus Captain Marvel, to Iron Man and Cap like it was in Civil War 1, and essentially he ends up in a coma, and the protege that was selected to replace him essentially was Riri Williams in the comic.
Yeah. And then
Jake, I know, read every single Ironheart comic.
I read every single
like the first into 15 of the Invincible Iron Man issues, and I was gonna finish it, but I ran out of time because I couldn't let go.
yeah.
I couldn't power through them. So.
I read every Invincible Iron Man issue with Riri Williams, and then I read every single Ironheart issue. And I'm not gonna get into all of it, but a couple big things that happen that just flashbang
We'll
you.
probably come back to it.
Yeah, but Leonardo da Vinci's in it. Just ran like he just pops.
I didn't get that far.
He just
I
pops
didn't
up.
get that far.
I was reading it like pretty late, and I was exhausted, and I was reading it, and then he popped up, and I was like, I don't even know what to think right now.
2016 comics got real. All new, all different Marvel inherently. There hasn't really been a good comic. The literal only good thing that I know of that ran during that was Charles Soule's Daredevil, which is freaking awesome. I love Charles Soule's Daredevil writing. And that one right there, this one right here is his like most recent Daredevil thing that started coming out. But Charles Soule Daredevil was coming out at that point. It had some of the all new, all different aspects, which was when it became very like political and all of that, and every character, it was representation and all of the buzzwords that you'll hear thrown around because they are true. And there was some major writing problems, and it led to the downfall of the comic industry as a whole. But Ironheart, Ryan Coogler, of course, remembers the buzz when Ironheart was coming out. I don't actually think Ryan Coogler's been involved with this show in 3 years. This is purely like speculation. Like there is
Yeah.
zero evidence backs up. I don't actually think he's done anything. I don't think he likes this show, and I don't think he's been like.
No,
Dude made Sinners.
I think he said what
which
he
is
had to say.
One of the best movies.
He made
Have you
Sinners.
seen Sinners, by the way?
I haven't yet.
It's still pretty. It's really good.
I need to
It
see
was
it.
one that was worth seeing in theaters.
I've
I don't
heard
know
really
how
good
good it'll
things.
be at home.
Yeah, but
It's
Creed
I don't
1
know
and
if- I don't
2
think
as
it's
well.
my favorite movie. I think it's my favorite movie of this year, but Sinners is very good, and I think part of that is probably why they did try to rush this show out when they did, because his name was still
His name was
still
buzzing
still
and
pretty hot.
he was involved. I don't
and
think
Sinners
he's-
was very good. I don't
think
think
he's
he. I
touched
know he
the
was an
show for a
executive
while.
producer.
Yeah.
He's an executive producer. I don't know that he touched. I don't think he had any creative involvement in this show at all.
No,
I don't know if he did or not. As an executive producer, he did something. So
Yeah.
But there's that clip from that
Yeah.
behind the scenes where he says he remembers the buzz, which is
I mean,
potentially true. I don't
it's
I don't
not-
believe it's true
I
because the truth is the vast majority of people did not read Ironheart comics. They
and
they
if they
didn't read
did, it was probably in preparation for this show, like we did, to make fun of it.
They might
better.
have read the Invincible Iron Man because
Yeah, probably.
that was the Iron Man.
They probably read that, and then they were like, "Oh, this sucks." And then they saw Doctor Doom
Just-
in it, and they were like, "Yo, it's Doctor Doom." And then they're like, "Oh, Doom kind of sucks in this."
I
shit."
doubt most people made it far enough.
That's a good point. They probably didn't make it that far.
And I think that is a whole other thing in and of itself where people try to say like it's an original character. It's like, okay, but she debuted in Invincible Iron Man. The
Yeah.
only reason that the Ironheart character ever sold comics is because of the name Invincible Iron Man. Like when they gave her Ironheart issue 1, they got 12 or 13 issues and then it was canceled. So
And
it's also one of the worst comic book arts ever made. The
It's bad.
issue 1 cover.
It's bad. It's
At least with the Invincible Iron Man comics, it's like it looks alright. It's like
the art
it's that
was fine.
modern. It's the modern design. It's not like it's modern.
It's not like
comic
a-
art's just not.
It's not. It's not like a good classic comic design. Like,
But I don't know. I don't mind the modern
No.
stuff. That's probably because I'm young.
yeah, I don't
There-
mind.
I know that
the art just doesn't look
Sometimes
fantastic in Ironheart.
yeah, but Invincible Iron Man, I think it's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's real bad when it's actually in Ironheart issue 1. That cover is awful.
Yeah, it's
And they showed that cover and that behind the scenes, and I was like, you should not want to have
It's like,
anything to do with
you
that.
should
It's like
never show that. It's
yeah.
horrible.
And funnily enough, I will say this: I think back when I was like first starting to like actually read comics, like didn't know anything about any comics, wasn't listening. I think Ironheart was probably one of the earliest ones I did pick up because it was out at the time.
Mhm. Yeah,
I don't remember anything about it really.
yeah.
Just
But it
remember
was
going like,
it was
oh, that's
coming
cool.
out.
Suit looks like Iron Man. I don't know anything about the stories. Like I genuinely, I've never all those comics I used to read when I was younger. I like remember thinking they were all right, but I don't actually know that they were. I don't remember the story. Like one of the big ones was the Falcon, or not the Falcon, Captain America, Sam Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of like the first things I read all the way through. Not all the way through. I stopped reading that when he leaves the shield behind, and it was like I remember liking it. And I think I'd have to reread it to have a full opinion on it, but I don't know that it works. Point is, I did read those when they were coming out. I think I don't remember a single thing about it, but I did read it, and comics were not popular. They decided to bring the character back, movie/show. She was in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I have not seen. But
Yeah, I refuse to watch that movie out of respect for Chadwick Boseman. But
I don't even know if it's like I don't know if it's just I mean that's the whole thing.
Not more.
When you ask when he should be recasted, because his family said to recast him. His brother, I believe, is the one who said it. Like he would want him recasted. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch your movie because you're trying to profit off his.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was kind of the whole marketing thing too. They were like marketing. It was like he's dead now.
yeah. Like
So
when you're literally,
I was never gonna watch that movie, even like I wasn't gonna watch it even in preparation for this. I eventually might watch it, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I was definitely not gonna go see it in theaters. Just one of the first, it might have been the first movie, like Marvel wise, that I had skipped in theaters since
It was the first one for me in a long
Captain
time.
America: Civil War. I think.
Yeah.
I think Captain America: Civil War. I watched that one. I don't think I saw Doctor Strange in the other 2016 movie. I saw Guardians. I saw Spider-Man. I saw Thor. I saw Avengers, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Avengers Endgame, Far From Home, Black Widow. Yeah, Eternals. I watched freaking Eternals. Chi.
That was a rough theater experience.
I watched everything. Miss Marvel was the first project I straight up skipped.
Yeah.
And then once I skipped one, I was like, oh, I can just do this.
Oh wait, if it looks bad, I don't have to watch it anymore.
Didn't watch Miss Marvel. I skipped Wakanda Forever, not necessarily because I thought it was gonna be bad, just out of that whole principle of like the thing. I missed. I still think I've seen most of the Marvel movies in theaters. But I've skipped a lot of the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
I skipped every second and third season of What If. I think with the Star Wars stuff, like point is, I've been a little out of the loop on this, but that's kind of all the build up leading into Ironheart. Obviously, Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark dies. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, she's introduced in some way. Don't know, didn't watch it, but she goes to Wakanda.
Yeah. So,
makes her suit, I guess,
and then leaves Wakanda, comes back, and the show's
apparently like I said, haven't watched the movies, but based on what the line in the Ironheart show, apparently she started the whole war between the land and the sea.
Yeah.
Between Namor and and the Wakandans. So
yeah,
I don't know what all that's about, but
I remember one of the
like
creative producers for Ironheart talking about like how she did that, and she was like, she's disruptive. That's why we love her. And it's like,
dude, the homework. Did you see the list of homework you were supposed to watch before you watch the show?
Yeah, it's
Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, I think Agatha.
You did not need to watch WandaVision for this show.
Black Panther. Well, it's because Darkhold something. I don't know. Black Panther, Black Panther 2. There wasn't even a Darkhold, but Fisto was in it for one episode.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We're gonna get there.
We're rambling too much. We should go into this. Yeah. Episode 1 of Ironheart. Take Me Home. It was 44 minutes with credits. Already, like, it's 6 episodes. It's 44 minutes with credits. It's most of these shows have been 7 to 8 minutes of credits. You click on it and you immediately get the animation trailer for the Wakanda series.
Which, before we get into Ironheart, literally the worst animation I've ever seen. The animation is so bad.
It looks like this is gonna. I'm sorry if this sounds racist. This is black people. They're in Wakanda. Should be Africans. Why do they all look Egyptian? Like, why do they look like Prince of Egypt, Egyptian, and Middle Eastern? Like,
yeah.
No, Egyptians are Africans, right? But it's like they look Middle Eastern. It doesn't look like.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like people from Wakanda. It doesn't look like black people. It looks like.
Yeah. It literally looks like.
That is a thing in and of itself.
It looks like the movie, like Pyramids of Egypt, like that old animated. Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah, right. But that's a whole other time. I'm not gonna watch that show. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I will not be watching that. I
honestly didn't even know that was. I didn't realize that was. I think that's the only thing that comes out from between Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
Technically Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out, but that's Sony. That's like a separate thing. Anyway, all right. The episode opened with the greatest clip because your girl gonna be bigger than Jobs, bigger than Stark, bigger than Pym,
bigger than Gates.
By the way, now that I have the captions on, I'm actually realizing she wasn't saying she's gonna be getting Jobs. She said she was gonna be bigger than Jobs, as in Steve Jobs. I didn't realize that for her.
Also, you get the most like obvious I'm about to die character line ever. It's
literally Natalie it's a 2 weeks from retirement.
Yeah, Natalie just being like, I just want to be happy. Like,
bro, happy.
I read the comics. I know
your
girl's
gonna be bigger. Your girl's gonna be bigger than Jobs. And then Natalie says she wants a night with Thor and his hammer. Which, just remember, these are teenage girls.
Like, probably the only realistic bit of writing in the entire show.
Yeah, but it's weird, dude.
No, it's weird because that's how the show really opens. Awkward.
It's the first. She's moaning like.
Yeah, it's.
She says a night with Thor and his hammer, and then moans like.
Yeah, and then she's like, and then she's like,
a weird scene, and it keeps playing. Is the other thing.
Yeah,
and then she's like, I just want to be happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you're 2 weeks
It's
from
like,
retirement.
okay,
You're
just
not
tell
slick.
me you're about to get killed by gun violence.
Which obviously, if you read the comics, she dies at the same time as her stepdad, as
It's
Riri
literally the
Williams'
same
stepdad.
thing, but in the comics, they're in the park.
It's at a cookout.
Yeah, it's at a cookout, and then
It it's
and then in the show, it's in a garage. Like,
either way. Next thing is Riri talking about how she had to get her own money, obviously, by selling.
she's fully funded by MIT, by the way. Like grants,
Yeah, she's
funding,
selling this stuff. So
their
so
lab.
she made her. So she was selling. This is one of the things I just genuinely don't understand. I don't know. I probably need to rewatch it to actually figure it out. So she's in trouble for plagiarism because she's selling projects to other students from other schools, and they're turning them in so she can get money. But her suit that she needs the money for is fully funded by an MIT grant.
Yeah.
The money for, if not gain, like, and this is already. I mean, we are 2 minutes in, and
That's
it's
how
like
the show opens.
it's already. It's like
The basis of the
this
show
is where
makes
it's like,
no sense.
Is she a villain? Like, is she supposed to be a hero?
Yeah, like
Now, it's fine if she's got some like flawed person. I guess it's fine as long as those are resolved and you see like that she's actually a good-natured person. Like that's what Iron Man 1 does so well. Is it like shows you how much of an a-hole Tony Stark is for the first 10 minutes. Literally, my notes say it's like within 10 minutes of the show, all of the movie. Sorry, you just think about how like much of a piece of crap Tony Stark is. So I don't know, but she's selling the project. She's already funded, and she's getting expelled by Dean Pelton from Community.
yeah,
Um,
probably.
of course, the greatest line, of course, the most annoying line in the show. Would Tony Stark have been a billionaire, or would Tony Stark be Iron Man if he wasn't a billionaire? I don't know if this is like supposed to be the dumbest line ever.
Like, did the people who made the show watch Iron Man? They couldn't have.
Well, Tony Stark built it in a cave with a box of scraps. Also,
Yeah.
you sent me a meme. You sent me a meme today, and it was Iron Man.
Yeah, it was Iron Man
3,
3,
where it's like with $50 of shopping equipment, he like is able to build stuff to take down a compound of
He killed like 15 trained security guards.
Trained armed individuals.
With $50 of garbage from Walmart.
Point is yes, Tony Stark would have been Iron Man without being a billionaire because of it's his character trait that makes him Iron Man, and then he uses his
he makes do with whatever he has.
Build the suit. And yes,
he is a billionaire.
Was able to make the gold alloy suit and all of that because he's a billionaire. Obviously,
but he could have made do without.
Yes, he still could have been. Yes, he still could have been Iron Man without being a billionaire. Like,
yeah. And another thing is like all the time she spent, like plagiarism, like making those projects for other people. She literally could have whipped together a patent for some random thing and just passively made money to use on her suit.
I mean, she's got an invincible force field, like, bro.
Yeah, she made those force
sell
field.
That thing to the U.S. government, bro.
She made those force field watches in like an hour 45 max for like.
So she sold the force field. That was like the plagiarized project that we see. She sold it to a student when it's like
patent
just
that,
sold
bro.
That to Wraith. You could have sold it to Raytheon, bro. Like,
yeah. So
either way, point is, doesn't like
she's an idiot.
It's stupid. She's shocked to find out she's getting expelled when like. In high school, I think we were told, like,
yeah,
you know,
high schools have
that's,
yeah, like
you're expelled. In MIT, like, if you look it up, I'd be expelled for plagiarism. Yeah, shocker, I know.
And
we get a parallel to the comics with Riri trying to convince her dean that she is keeping her down, and she wants her to be.
Well, in the comics,
poor.
It was her teacher.
The comics,
it's
way funnier.
In like second grade, because this is like. Ironheart, she actually messed up and she's in trouble and she's trying to get out of it. And in the comics, it's literally her teacher like encouraging her and telling her she's gonna be great. And she's like, "Why aren't you holding me down?"
She says, "I know what I want to be when I grow up." And then the teacher says, "That's great. What do you want to be?" Did she say astronaut or inventor? I don't remember. Either way, she says something. She says something, and then like the teacher's like, "That's great," and then white teacher's like, "That's great," and then like, no, you're supposed to be racist. You got to tell me I can't do it because I'm black. And it's like, what? And then the teacher's like just as confused, and she like holds up a picture of the first black female astronaut, and she's like, everyone told her she couldn't do it, and the teacher's like, yeah,
She was like,
yeah,
"It's
'cause
not."
that was
She's like,
a long time
It's
ago.
not those times anymore."
Yeah, and Riri gets real pissed, and she's trying to gaslight her teacher into being racist to
She
her.
literally makes her
It's one of the
teacher
funny,
tell her she
unintentionally
can't achieve her dreams. Like,
the most funny, like unintentionally funny things ever
oh yeah.
in any.
But yeah, her in the
It's
show
hilarious.
she gets called out,
And it's
and then she gets expelled from MIT, and then she just steals her suit because like I built it, so it's mine, right? No. MIT gave you the grants for the tools, the materials, the workspace, like literally everything she used to build that suit. MIT gave her.
She's getting
and then
kicked
she just
out.
stole it.
She's getting expelled. She's getting expelled, and she steals her suit back. That's the next thing.
Then she flies home to Chicago and crash lands.
Yeah, well, no, the suit. She earned the suit. All right, that was her grant money.
Yeah, it was her grant money that she was given.
She steals the suit she made.
Crashes.
And then she's got the crappy AI, just like in the comics. Although in the comics it's not an AI, it's like it's almost like Siri.
Yeah, it's
Kind of,
basically
like,
just like voice
like it's a
control.
search engine,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
That whole thing happens. We get the first of the title sequences of this show, which I know you have very strong opinions about, right? So she crashes and pulls out Ironheart.
Okay, so
Intro.
I'm a big intro guy. I think when a show has a good intro, it like you watch the intro, it gets you locked in to whatever the show is.
Pause. Time out. Because I forgot that doesn't happen first. First we watch we can blow by this real quick, but we do watch Anthony Ramos, who plays the Hood. Watch his crew.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes. Yes.
We watch his crew rob this house, and Stewart messes everything up.
Yeah.
They need a new tech specialist. There you go. There's that all set up. We meet the Blood twins, which is two lesbians in this show, I believe. I think they're lesbians. One might be transgender. I don't remember.
I think one of them.
And then I don't know if in the show they are, but I believe
in real life, yes.
I believe the actress is transgender. So
actor.
Sorry if I just said the wrong thing. I don't. I tried. Either way, they're the muscle, and you have cousin John, right?
Yeah, cousin John.
I kept mixing up Joe and John, I think, in my video, so I kind of just called him the cousin.
Yeah.
But get that. We get Clown, who I don't really know what she does. I think she
makes bombs.
Small. She's the small time inventor, because Riri ends up being the big thing.
Yeah.
And then Slug, played by Shea Boulay or something like that, who is a drag star. I believe this is their first acting role.
Yes, first acting role. It shows.
Yeah, I don't. Like, I think you were inherently setting yourself up for failure when you decided to make a character like this. I mean,
look up Slug from the comics, and it's like...
Yeah, well, you could do that with every single one of these characters, to be honest. But
yeah.
I'm just, like, this is the big one where I was like, I'm not buying that this person's a hacker. Like, I would say the main thing that makes me think Slug here in the show is not hackers, the nails.
Yeah, she had, like, super long nails. Every time it shows them typing, it's literally like... And it's just, like, hitting all the keys at the same time.
His first acting job, not very good. It definitely comes across. They're one of the weakest characters in the show, for sure.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of lines. It's not like Clown, who, like, is a super weak character, but also just doesn't get that many lines. All of these characters in this crew kind of suck as, like, side characters.
Yeah.
Which is a common theme you'll see in the show. But anyway, point is, they need a new tech person. There's your setup for that. Then we come back and we get that first title sequence. Now, back to your title rant, because...
Yeah, okay, so as I was saying, a good intro for a show, it gets you in the mindset to watch it. Go back and watch Netflix's Daredevil. Oh, it's so bad. I hate it so much. Go back and watch Netflix Daredevil. The intro, it's probably the best intro of any show that I've watched.
I think it's one of my favorites. I really like Mobland, watch Mobland. Anyone, especially you, Jake, watch Mobland.
I'm getting to it.
That intro's very good. And then I like Terminalist. Terminalist might be my
Yes,
favorite.
Terminalist is a really good intro. I wasn't thinking about that.
Terminalist might be my favorite one. I like the Daredevil one. Terminalist I like more because it's like an actual scene.
That's true.
It's like literally just a shot of his office, and it kind of sets that one really does a good job of setting the mood. And then obviously I really like Punishers. Punishers is more I like the music. I don't like the actual 3D.
Yeah, it's
I like
whatever.
some of the 3D animation, like with like the Barrett 50 cal making the Punisher eyes, like that. There's some cool moments in it, but the music is honestly what carries the Punisher one.
Yeah.
Iron Fist has a pretty good intro. Defenders, very good, but it's better. It still sets the mood for the show. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point of an intro, and some shows can get away with doing a title card as long as it's like consistent. Sure. Yeah, like
Reacher is the biggest example. Reacher cuts to black, and then it's just giant letters that says Reacher, and there's like a sound of thunder playing in the background, and that is perfect for the show.
Yeah, it's like as long as it can match the tone of the show, and like whether it's consistent music or a consistent like sound, like if you're gonna just do title cards like that, you really have to do it right, and Ironheart just does. Like
it has to match. I think that there's a couple in here that the first one I'll say this. So I like that they tried to do. It was like, so she crashes and it makes Ironheart. Obviously, in the world itself, it didn't actually make the word Ironheart.
Yeah.
But they use the O as a manhole cover, and then she's the A. It's not amazing. I don't love this title card at all by any means. I don't think it's that. I'm not honestly as like anti this way than you. There's some in here that are not great, but this one I don't really like. I just thought it was stupid at the time. Honestly, now that I've seen some of the other ones, it's not that bad to me.
Yeah.
This brings me to the thing I wanted to ask. So you saw Secret Invasion, and the only thing I remember about that is the intro for that is like AI, like horrifically looking thing. It's just straight up AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that one or these for Ironheart?
I don't know. They're both so bad. It's like, I don't know. You're putting up terrible versus horrible. Like, it's the worst intro I've seen versus a bunch of title cards that I hate. Like,
I will say this: these are only like 2 frames.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I would prefer this.
But there's no skip intro button.
That's true. I can't skip these. I feel like I would rather these. Like, if you're gonna have a horrible intro, I'd rather have no intro. But I think it's worth making. Yeah.
There are shows where it's like I don't watch the intro. Like I'll watch it for the first episode. A good example I think is Ted Lasso for me.
Yeah.
It's like the Ted Lasso intro is pretty good, but I'm not gonna watch it every single time I would watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah. My general rule is like
the scene.
Whenever I sit down to start watching, I watch the intro. But like if I watch 3 episodes back to back or whatever, I don't watch all of them.
I still do. When I rewatch Daredevil before Daredevil Born Again, I watch the intro.
Daredevil's the exception. I watch every Daredevil intro.
I do it with Punisher as well. I will probably do it when I rewatch Terminalist for the 4th time.
Yeah, Terminalist
and then
so
Mobland.
Good.
Mobland I don't skip. I love the song on Mobland.
Yeah. But
when Peaky Blinders also is another good example of like just doing. Don't they just have a title card?
I think so. Yeah.
The music builds up to it, right?
Yeah.
The Red Right Hand music. But
yeah.
That's also just a title card that says Peaky Blinders. Point is,
great song.
Jake is not a big fan of this.
Hate it.
Like it's not great, but at this, I can't imagine. I think that there was some cool thing. There was probably a cool angle you could have done with the intro. You know, some welding action. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just wanted to. I know you had a rant about that, so I wanted to get to that.
Yeah.
She's back in Chicago. And she's going home. We get introduced to the tiny kid child. Do you remember his name?
I don't. That's another thing.
It feels like he was supposed to be a popular character.
He was supposed to be
an important character. He was supposed to be he was supposed to have more appearances than the 2 he had in the show up until the last.
Yeah. And then I really hated the fact that he was in the last episode because it was literally Riri being like, "We need to get out of Chicago. We're all in danger."
We'll get the last episode.
And she's like, "Let's endanger this small child."
We'll get there. We'll get there. Point is, this kid, he's asking for money. She says yes, borrow his wagon.
Yeah.
Riri gets home.
Her mom and her friend are just like.
I didn't even realize this. Her mom is talking to the magic people.
Yeah, it's the magic lady. Just the mom.
I honestly didn't even realize that. I didn't process that when we were going. But yes, Black Girl Magic.
Yep.
from Captain Marvel or
The Marvels.
Marvels.
The Marvels.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, they renamed it from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It was popular. Anyway, point is, I didn't realize that, but she's talking to the magic people. And then Riri gets bumped into by Xavier, who is Natalie's brother.
Natalie's
Correct.
brother. Yeah.
I didn't realize that until.
No, I didn't realize that until whatever episode it explicitly says it.
Yeah, obviously, but I think it said it in the first 3 because I didn't realize it until like halfway through episode 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I watched it at 1.5x speed, and I was very tired when I watched the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, and that definitely flew over my head. I don't remember if they have what they're talking about when they're walking along the beach.
Her
You get
being
some of her
iconic, pretty much.
intellect. Talking about how she wants to build her armor.
Yeah.
But you're willing. This is the first thing. Everyone dresses her. I don't think it's 3rd person, but it's like they all say, "You, Riri Williams." And they're talking to her.
Like,
it really plays into the whole fact that she's extremely self-centered.
it really does.
And everyone just kind of helps her. You know, they talk about how you're smarter than everyone else because you are Riri Williams. It's like, it's something super weird. So she says she's going to make a stronger suit of armor and a smarter AI because then everyone will have to respect her.
Yeah. Not to save people.
You know, a bit like a typical villain monologue.
Yeah, that's literally like bar for bar.
I need to make this something that's super powerful so that everyone respects me. No choice but to respect me.
Yeah, that's the first hint of villain origin story.
Scenes about Riri Williams being a villain. Which, I don't, maybe the writers that were intentional. I don't know. Maybe they were. By episode 6, it seems like they might have been trying to do intentionally.
Maybe.
Either way, so she talks to Xavier. Then we get the flashback. She drives by the shop where there's the mural painted out with Gary and Natalie.
And then he gives her.
There's a whole heart to heart.
He gives her a cassette tape. The MCU is in 2027.
We get our first. Hold on. We get our first flashbacks to.
Yeah.
We get our first flashbacks to Gary and like, oh look, she helped him, and it is all dead. They're dead.
Yeah, Gary and Natalie are dead. They're super, super dead.
They're very dead. Natalie's 2 weeks from retirement.
Yeah.
She just wants to be happy.
I just want to be happy. Dead.
Yeah. Xavier says, I made you something. Gives her a mixtape.
In 2027. There's a reason your music career's not taking off, bro.
I'm just going to say, I don't think that that's too ridiculous.
I don't think it is. It's just like,
a mixtape.
It's a funny...
you know, it's the same as like, I'm just going to say it as this, because it's like, just, that's a bit of a nitpick of like, you know, maybe it's like people who work with film, they prefer to work with film on cameras instead of shooting stuff.
And it's like liking vinyls.
Maybe he just likes to do mixtapes instead of,
yeah.
Like, maybe to him there's like some actual sentiment. Now, of course, we don't know this. The show doesn't bother to try to like explain this in any way, but
yeah,
you know, it's who got a cassette player? Let's be honest.
They spent like 5 minutes explaining his headphones, but
who got a cassette player? There's no like, how's Riri supposed to listen to a cassette tape?
But she does though.
She is the smartest person alive, so she can.
That's true. She
probably knows how to make a cassette player.
That's true.
Wait, she gets the Awesome Mix Volume 4. I will say, in defense of this song, it is way better than the Spider-Man Miles Morales music from the game.
It's like water dripping and like it's the worst song ever.
I think that's what I texted Jake when we were watching it. I was like, because Jake was like crashing out over the fact that it was a cassette tape, and I was like, hey, it could be worse. It could be the Spider-Man Miles Morales music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst song you've ever heard is what the Spider-Man Miles Morales one is. Point is, it's better than that at the very least.
Yeah. And it has like a sample of Natalie's voice, and it causes Riri to have a panic attack when she listens to it. But that's later.
Next thing, they go to the shop, the like
junkyard basically.
Shop. junkyard shop, whatever it is. Riri's collecting material. She's got to pay for it, and then I believe it's cousin John comes in and pays for it
Yep.
instead. Says like, hey, you're the Riri Williams. Keep in mind, the junkyard shop guy's got freaking newspaper clippings stapled to his wall of like
of her
girl genius.
Yeah.
Riri Williams. That's like, all right, bro.
It's a little
maybe
on the
I
nose.
can kind of believe it because clearly, I can kind of believe it. It's like, hey, she's a tinker, so she probably spent a lot of time.
And she's like a hometown hero type.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even saying that. It's like she probably spent a lot of time at this shop, and it was like, so he knew her when she was younger.
Probably
so I guess I can believe. Can kind of believe that he would have that up. It's a little weird that it's facing his customers. Anyway, point is more just like
it's his daughter.
This
or
one's more
something, like...
So it's literally a newspaper clipping that says Riri Williams is youngest ever to win at Chicago Science Fair. And then they come in and they're talking about how amazing she is at graduating school early. I mean, finished 9th grade at age 11. That's an exact quote. It's like all these things. It takes some song to explain it. This is what's really impressive about the first Iron Man. I'm just going to keep going back to that because I just rewatched it. And there's a 2-minute video exposition montage at that award show. And we learn Stark's a boy genius. He built a motor at age 7. This, whatever it was, at age 11. And it's like graduated at MIT at, I think it was either 17 or 19. All that. It's done within 2 minutes. We know everything we need to know about it. This is like, we are halfway through this episode. We're 20 minutes in. And it's like, they've said Williams is the smartest. And she finished school at this age. And she went to MIT at this age. And it's like, they just keep repeating it. It's like, she's a genius. You gotta show, not tell.
And in Iron Man,
this was a problem with Daredevil. Not tell. You can't just sit here. You can say it. You can tell us once. You don't keep telling us. Show us stuff. With Daredevil, it was like with the Trial of White Tiger. It's like they're telling us about how White Tiger's a hero, but they won't show it.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like they're telling and showing at the same amount. It's like, and that makes up every episode on repeat.
Yeah, and the thing with Iron Man that actually made it good was that it didn't feel forced. It was at the expo or the awards thing, and it made sense in context. This is literally just characters
feels a bit. The exposition feels a bit random. I'm gonna be honest. When you rewatch it,
it does.
It's
but
good, but it's over in a minute. It's over in 90 seconds.
Yeah, and this it just feels like a character's talking. It feels like they're looking at the camera and telling you what you're supposed to know in the middle of a scene.
It's like The Office.
Yeah. It's like
they're like Riri Williams. They're like Riri Williams is a genius.
It's like the Pedro Pascal when he's on Hot Ones. He's you should hear this too. It's that.
Talk about Pedro.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bring him up.
He's not in this show. It's one of the rare things he's not in these days.
The first project in years he hasn't been a part of. But
in fairness, this film before he was in everything.
That's true. Yeah.
Either way, that's one thing that's really peppered throughout the show. Is they're talking and it's like Riri Williams is a genius. You get that? Get that one? Yeah, she's so smart. She's the smartest. Either way, show sucks. Cousin John's like, hey, you should come work for us. You can make the big bucks. And Riri gets mad and listens to him.
Yeah.
Goes up at the diner. Goes into the elevator.
She finds her own way. Gets through the gas.
The bomb. She strips wires with her teeth, which is possible. That is something people do. Mostly drug addicts, hot wiring cars, but can be done. I want to point that out. It can be done. Not probably the best way, but she does. It's not like she's gonna just pull out a pair of wire strippers. You can believe that would be the way she did it in that scenario. The bomb's gonna go off. By the way, there is zero evidence that this is not a real bomb. He snaps off a railing that is hammered into this elevator.
Yeah, it's bolted.
I don't know how she gets this railing off, but she gets this railing off and just jars the door open. It's the big reveal. Oh my gosh. It's Ironheart. Bum, 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 bum. Oh.
It's painful.
Like I said, zero evidence this is not a real bomb. And the hood just going. It was
just it wasn't a bomb. It was just the toxic gas filling the elevator. Yeah.
Point is, then so she should be pissed. And then next is the hood going. Excellent work.
And she's just chill. She's like, what the heck,
Yeah, like
man?
you. Well, she's not chill right away, but
Yeah.
she comes to it. She comes to terms real quick when she
She's-
should be like, yeah. So you are insane.
You tried to kill me
Yeah.
as a test. She should leave immediately.
And then hold on. And then we get more right when the Hood meets her. You're the genius. I want to help you be recognized for your greatness. Which, in the context of Hood's character at the end of the show, makes kind of somewhat sense for what he is. Problem is, this is like the 5th person to do this in the show where it's like, this is what makes you amazing, Riri Williams.
And it's for like it's just a
revealed
stranger.
kind of
like it just
showed that like that's kind of how Hood like manipulates these people into joining his crew. It's pretty weak manipulation, but it's like it could work if this was the first time they'd done it, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like this is the 6th time in the show that someone's like, you got to be recognized for your greatness. They want to make you be small. You're gonna be recognized. You're gonna be iconic.
Yeah. And then he just offers her like all the money she'll need to work on her suits as long as she does 3 jobs with the crew, and she just agrees.
She doesn't agree.
Well, she clarifies.
She goes and thinks about it. He offers her the cash, and she's like, I have morals. And she's like, actually, it better be worth it. And then
Yeah, and then she was like,
she takes
wait,
the cash.
She was like, I assume it's illegal, and he was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, I'll do it. Like,
But we don't hurt people.
we don't hurt people though.
Illegal, but we don't hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay, bro.
whatever. Point is, she goes home. She listens to her mixtape. Working on her suit. She listens to her mixtape, which gives her a flashback to the night Natalie and Gary died.
Yeah.
Gary's your stepdad, by the way. So she has a panic attack. The Hood, we get our first showing of him getting the tattoos.
Yeah. He has like the corruption spreading across his back from the hood, and John covers it up with tattoos. And then
we get the whole Hood reveal, and then the AI. So she is training an AI on her head while she's asleep. She's using her brain because she needs to make one that's as powerful as the Wakanda AI.
Yeah. So she's mapping her
and
brain.
we get to see this stupid I just want to be happy scene for the second time. That's 2.
In one episode.
Yeah. Luckily, we don't have to hear that your girl gonna be bigger than Jobs, bigger than Stark,
So bad.
bigger than Pym, or A Night with Thor and His Hammer. We don't have to hear that. It's just I just want to be happy. 2 weeks from retirement.
Yep.
She's asleep and she's thinking about it, and then oh my gosh, who the hell else would it be, Bish?
It's so bad. And then Riri faints. And that's the end of the episode.
This is supposed to be like a big reveal. Like, think about this in a way of like a show that would release an episode every week, because that's how this was originally supposed to happen. Was going to be 1 episode a week. This is supposed to be the big hook to bring you back.
Yeah.
You know this character who all we've heard her say is she wants to have sex with Thor? And look, here she is. She's back.
Yeah. We showed you a couple flashbacks of her dying. She's back.
Yeah.
She's an AI.
She faints. It's Natalie. Executive producer Kevin Feige. There's all the credits. No post-credit scene, right? Yeah. Episode 2 is titled "Will the real Natalie please stand up?" Okay, I'm just gonna give like a really minor nitpick here. This show takes place in Chicago, and it's about showing the culture of Chicago. There's a whole little like snippet that they put out about how important it was for them to show the culture of Chicago. Why are we getting an Eminem reference?
A white Michigan rapper.
It's just like
You
it's
want
a
to
little
show
random. It's
Chicago culture, and then you're like,
will the real
Michigan
Natalie
rapper.
please stand up?
Michigan rapper.
Like they're like, we want to show off the culture of Chicago and black people in Chicago. How do we do that? The white Michigan rapper. The only truly successful white rapper will be the title we reference.
Like, yeah.
That was just a random nitpick. There's a lot of rappers from Chicago.
Oh, there's a lot. Like, a lot.
A lot of rappers are from Chicago. Most of them, in fact, are from LA or Chicago.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do a rap song, you could have found one. Natalie thing.
Yeah.
Random minor nitpick. I just think it's funny.
And it's also
that
not
it's an Eminem song.
it's not the real Natalie either. So no part of the title makes sense because it's the AI
no, that's
Natalie.
the point. No, that's
I
the point.
I get it.
It's
but
the AI Natalie, so the real Natalie needs to stand out.
I get it.
It's
But
either way. I just thought that was a funny moment of it. Was I looked at the title of it and I was like, you know, we open the episode, Wakanda animated trailer. Go ahead and hit skip on that bad boy. A recap, even though this show came out, the same day as the first episode.
yeah, but I'm watching these
Riri
back to
faints.
back, and we have a recap.
Riri faints, and Natalie is here, and Riri is extremely freaked out that her dead best friend is standing in front of her. She is the only person, and there are 2 scenes total in this whole show where a character has a normal reaction to seeing a dead person show up, even if it is just an AI, a clearly dead person show up.
When her mom sees her, she's literally like, "Oh, hey Natalie, what's up?" And they chat. Like, what? That's your daughter's dead best friend.
Yeah, so let's just I'm just gonna paint this in a picture. If you died, right, and I created an artificial intelligence that was exactly like you and looked exactly like you and talked about you, but it wasn't actually you, it was my understanding of you.
Yeah, it was just how you view me.
It was crafted off my memories of you. And then my parents saw it.
Yeah,
they'd be
I just walked downstairs.
Yeah, so you need to go to counseling.
Yeah, like I just walked downstairs, so I'm like,
so
hey, how are you guys?
It's time to talk about grief.
Yeah. Hold on.
It is the biggest.
Okay, you're good. Never mind.
It is the biggest, moral problem that completely inhibits Riri Williams' chance to be a hero in this show.
Yeah.
And it was a very good opportunity for character growth at the end of the show, but it's like she's super uncomfortable with it. She's like, "Oh, I need to delete it." And then can't. She's rushed because Xavier shows up and she's not going to show Xavier her
his dead sister.
Which is probably smart.
And then he invites her to a Saba thing that night, and then she says she has to go to work, and we get the title card for this episode, which is like a street sign that says Ironheart Ave.
Yeah, I thought this one. It didn't distract you for me.
Yeah, it wasn't distracting. It
was more plausible than the first.
That was probably the one I liked the most.
First we get the typical heist movie. Wait, is this before the intro?
No, that's after the intro. We get that after the intro.
Just trying to find the title card. I can't. Whatever. Point is,
after that, we get the commercial from Tunnel, which is the first company that they rob, and it's literally just a commercial, and then we see the hood, and he just
stereotypical Rick and Morty heist movie scene of how he put together the whole getting together the crew thing. I actually kind of like this scene, not because it's good, but because it's it's funny that it's literally just the stereo. I'm gonna get these writers don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give it to them and assume that this was done like this as a parody, intentionally. It's this clearly overplayed, ridiculous version of the.
Yeah.
This is how they put the crew together.
Yeah.
It shows up and he's like, "I'm putting together a crew," and the character's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
Yeah.
I think those words. I would have actually appreciated it as a parody if those exact words were in it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
If just every single person had said that,
yeah, with that high five, that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
I am gonna choose to believe this was intentionally done like this as a parody. I think there's also a chance that it definitely wasn't. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and assume it was.
Yeah.
We get that. We get the whole putting together the crew. Riri shows up now to work, and yeah, it's only so much. Probably dragging this out a bit too much. We're only second episode in. Point is,
we can speed it up.
Try to hit. Bit. I'm gonna try to brush past this episode. I want to get to some of the later episodes since we've already done down to this. Point is, Riri Williams is hacking. She still hasn't deleted Natalie. She needs to get parts. We get to see Joe, who is eventually revealed to be Ezekiel Stane, the son of Obadiah Stane.
Yeah.
He's a complete pushover, and Riri blackmails him. We get the worst. Well, first they do some research on her, I think. Oh no, Natalie shows up to her mom. So Natalie appears to her mom.
Yeah.
Not remotely freaked out.
She's like,
This show.
and then they
So
talk.
this show, it's like this show is trying to be like what you would expect. Like people in Marvel, the Marvel universe, still freak out when there's superheroes that show up. Like, just because this stuff happens in everything we see doesn't mean it's commonplace for like in the later episode when we get to the magic. They don't freak out about that enough. That this person they know actually knows how to do sorcery stuff. It's like,
yeah,
I understand that
magic.
The sorcerers were literal, like it was a secret society.
Yeah, they treat it like
it's Carmitage, right?
Yeah, Camartage. They treat it like finding out.
Up with Kunlun.
They treat it like finding out your friend has just like a hobby you didn't know about. Like if you were just suddenly really good at drawing or something. If, and I was like, oh, cool.
They're not near like freaked out enough about stuff like this. Her dead best friend showing up should freak her mom out.
Yeah.
Make her mom be like, yeah, you have to go to counseling.
Yeah.
Therapy or something.
Yeah.
Because you have reanimated your dead best friend. And then Riri was going to explain she was a mistake or whatever. Instead, her mom enables her eventually. Riri goes to, before all that, Riri goes to Joe's bunker. Joe makes it very clear. She says, we get the first mention of her saying, when Joe asks, why did you build the Ironheart armor? And she says, because I could.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common theme throughout the show. They try to retcon it at the end, but stupid. Just because she could. Joe's got all of this high-tech equipment, and he's very clear. Don't touch this, or don't lead this back to me.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, that's called foreshadowing. It's very subtle.
Very subtle. He's literally like, can this lead back to me? No? Okay, cool.
Are you sure? As long as you don't lose it and leave it on one of the robbery sites, it shouldn't lead back to me. I'm text Riri to ask where she's at. She flies away, and we get a first heist. Riri's job is stop the cars moving, I think.
She's supposed to download the virus so that Slug can get into the system. Natalie just pops into her suit and scares her, so she drops the drive.
Hold on. We're not there yet, because first, the crew has to break in.
Yes. The one thing Clown does.
This high-tech transportation facility. So Clown blows the hell out of the floor for Riri. But either way, so Cousin John and the two twins, I think they're twins, at least blood siblings. I don't remember if they're twins or not.
Yeah.
Again, and John starts whipping knives.
Yeah.
Guns. The security guards don't have guns. These are low-wage, security guards.
Yeah. They're basically
just
the whole
justification is they think they're Robin Hood. Oh, Robin Hood was robbing stolen stuff back from powerful people.
Yeah.
Robin Hood was not just stealing stuff because the powerful people had it.
Yeah.
Robin Hood was I'm not gonna go on a whole Robin Hood rant. Robin Hood, the people were getting overtaxed and their money was getting stolen. So Robin Hood stole the money back and gave it out as these characters. And this is the twisted logic of the writers in and of itself. It's not necessarily the characters, because the writers write the characters. It comes off in the characters. Is the writers think, well, no, the rich. It's just you got to steal from the rich and give to myself.
Yeah.
The Wolf of Wall Street. It's like he's a twisted Robin Hood who steals from the rich and gives to himself and his band of merry
compatriots.
Which obviously, if you said you literally made them the Wolf of Wall Street, they'd be like, "What? That's not." No, he's a bad person because he is.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the whole thing. They are just robbing money from people who did earn this. They are billionaires. Do they cheat the tax system? Probably. Who knows? That's I don't know. That's what they do. Point is, it's not like these billionaires didn't walk into O Block in Chicago and hold all the people living there at gunpoint and like take all their money from them
Yeah.
and say like, "Yep, this is ours now," and now they're stealing it back.
They just happen to be rich. And the
They
thing
have
is,
companies.
all the companies that they rob are like doing stuff that benefits the people. Like they're
But either
opening
way-
highways
either way.
to ease traffic, and then the other one is just like making food for people.
Is their twisted justification for this is that they're stealing it from the billionaires.
Yeah.
But then they're just straight up murdering security guards who are like, probably not billionaires. I'm gonna assume if they're working
Yeah.
security jobs.
There's like
These guys are
working
probably
class
making
people.
These guys are probably making 15 an hour. Minimum wage, but it might actually be minimum wage in Illinois. But either way, point is, these guys ain't rolling in the dough.
Yeah.
They don't have guns. There's one security guard with guns, and he's with a gun, and he's not even in the main
Yeah,
part
he's
of the facility
outside.
that needs security. But either way, they don't have guns, and they're just so this guy's running to go push the large red button on the security desk. It's not even. This is a nitpick. This is every bank or company that has these like panic buttons. It's a subtle button under this because it's silent alarm.
Yeah.
This dude's running to a huge red button on the desk that's supposed to like be an alarm. It's just it's literally a glaring red button. Either way, John whips the knife at him, murders the crap out of this guy. And the blood siblings beat the hell out of all these dudes.
Yeah.
And Slug sits there as John just keeps straight up murdering homies. They don't hurt anybody though.
Yeah, no, we don't hurt anybody.
It's unclear to me whether that was just a lie to like make Riri feel good or if it was like they're actually trying.
It had to be a lie because he literally like
I'd assume it was a lie.
in the next heist he just murders a bunch of people. So
But yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This one is like when a whole plan goes wrong. But still, point is, I'd assume it's a lie.
Yeah.
Riri, the whole plan goes to crap because Natalie shows up. Riri has to think fast on her feet. Stops the car. Hood appears in the car with the CEO lady. And we get the incredible plan revealed from Hood. So him and his team are going to force these billionaires to sign over controlling interest in their companies to him with 6-figure salaries and all this stuff. What?
They can't trace a direct deposit to 6 bank accounts. Like
Either way, like even if they couldn't, even if it was like it's offshore accounts. Like, what is this? Like, what is this plan? It gets revealed in episode 6 that it's like, oh, it's because his dad owns a big company and these are his direct business partners.
Yeah. But it still doesn't actually make sense because they could just.
Why would he go to those? And in the end, the only it's not even like him controlling that. Is how he gets his dad to sign over. He puts a gun to his head and says, "I'm going to kill you if you don't sign everything over."
Yeah. And the funny thing is also like people were kind of thinking because Mephisto ends up being in the show that this was like them actually selling their souls over. And
yeah, but they're not near enough clever to do that.
Yeah, I don't think the writers even considered that as a possibility.
I mean, most of them didn't even know Mephisto existed.
Yeah.
Remember WandaVision? A show literally
designed
to have Mephisto appear in the last episode. The devil's in the details. Agatha is literally a assistant for Mephisto. Like, it's Mephisto is going to be in the show. Because this was still when I was like gaslit that everything Marvel was doing was good. So I was still watching the new Rockstars breakdown. Eric Voss, loved that guy, is sitting there swearing on everything in the world. Mephisto is going to be in this show. Paul Bettany's going, there's some massive cameo at the last episode that no one's going to expect, and it's going to everyone's going to love it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's Mephisto. And then,
Agatha.
a week before the last episode, the writer says, I don't even know who Mephisto is. I never read a comic. They're too confusing to try to figure out how to read.
Yeah. Didn't know. Writer doesn't know how to read comics, adapting comic book material.
I don't even care if you don't know how to read a comic. You don't know who Mephisto is? What? It's got to be... WandaVision, how they write a show that was so expertly crafted at introducing Mephisto at the end of it, and they didn't even know who he was? Anyway, it would make sense if he appeared in WandaVision. And then the other one, Spider-Man No Way Home, is literally following one of the worst, most controversial plot lines in Spider-Man comics history, Spider-Man Brand New Day, or one more day, I think.
Yeah. I think one more.
I think it's one more day. Anyway, point it. It's literally a story from the comics where he makes a deal to make everyone forget he is Parker, I believe, which is what No Way Home is.
Yeah.
And he goes through Mephisto to do it, so he has to lose his, like, he loses Mary Jane. They can't be married anymore. So and then he doesn't appear in that, which I'm fine with him not appearing. But it does make Doctor Strange a complete imbecile.
Yeah. Ruins him.
Yeah. Either way, I guess that doesn't really matter because he gets ruined in his own movie later anyway.
Yeah.
Point is, he should have appeared. He could have appeared in WandaVision. He should have appeared. He could have appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home. He didn't. And in this show, where it makes zero sense for him to appear, because it's freaking Ironheart. The villain in Iron Man 1 is Ironmonger. Villain in Iron Man 2 is Whiplash in an iron suit.
Yeah.
Villain in Captain America the First Avenger is a super soldier, technically, in the Red Skull. Skull had a failed super soldier serum. Villain in Captain America the Winter Soldier is Bucky Barnes, who's a super soldier. So it's like, it's a pretty clear theme here, is that villain be similar to your hero in a sense that's like, you're concerned that the villain itself is like the hero, but just better in the way, so it's going to be really hard for the hero, but they should be evenly matched. Why is Ironheart dealing comics? It's at least the freaking techno golem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who can hack, who has powers designed to stop Iron Man. Yeah. Why is it Mephisto? In fairness, he's not even the villain in this show. I guess he's the co-hero.
Yeah,
based off their writing.
Like, pretty much.
He's the co-hero, but either way, it's like, it just doesn't make sense for the show. Point is, we reveal this plan. She signs over Tunnel. Maybe that'll come up later. Doesn't. And then we get rant number 2, because earlier Riri tells us that her suit is powered off of solar and wind, because they aren't just handing out arc reactors. Because you couldn't build one in a cave with a box of scraps.
You couldn't do that.
Yeah, they don't just hand them out. You can't just,
They don't just give them to anybody.
Yeah, she's smart, but they
don't just give them out.
How's she supposed to make one?
What, are you supposed to make
Come
one?
on now. Yeah, and it's also like, you can't even say like, well, Tony Stark used missiles and stuff like that to get all the material he needed. Yeah, guess what Joe had in his basement? Literally every piece of material that's in better quality than the Afghanistan Stark Industries stuff. Anyway, her suit's powered off solar and wind. Now,
charges it at night, by the way.
Hold on. Solar energy can be somewhat efficient. You can power your house with solar panels. It's a lot of surface area for a lot of power. It is, you could do it. Wind is horribly inefficient.
Yeah.
There's a reason that on every time you see like wind turbines, there's like a million of them. It's because it's horribly inefficient. They're giant to generate as much power as possible.
And hers are this big.
Remember, Iron Man, using his original arc reactor in the first Iron Man, can fly sustained like 20 minutes before it runs out of power. And that thing, I think it's like gigajoules. It's like 3 gigajoules or something like that. Some insane amount of power, and like Jensen says it could power your heart for a lifetime, and Tony says it could power something big for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the Mark 1 arc reactor. Riri Williams is charging her suit nighttime. It's flying. Remember, arc reactor Mark 1 can only sustain flight for 15 minutes. This suit's flying. The solar panels are like big.
Not even that big. They're like small wings.
Well, I'd say from like my elbow over here, you can't see my elbow, but from my elbow to my hand, it's probably about that big, and then it's like that wide. That's generous, but it's like that wide. We'll say it's that wide. Definitely not enough space. Doesn't matter though, because it's flying at night. There's not a lot of solar energy at night. you have solar panels powering a house, it uses the energy it stores up over the day
during night.
through the night.
Yeah. And then
You
the
know,
tiny
that's
little
kind of the
turbines
thing.
that are like the size of like a handheld fan.
Huge wind turbines are horribly inefficient. She has 2 turbines that are this big around that are somehow not only charging her suit, outputting enough power to let this suit sustain flight in air. Arc reactor Mark 1, 15 minutes of flight. Wind turbine, this big, 2 of them. No sun, so the solar... Whoa, what the heck?
Yo, Ironheart.
Discord's crazy. Either way, I didn't mean to do that intentionally. Point is, they're this big around, and they are outputting enough power to counteract what she's losing
From
via
flying.
having the suit float there.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. Even if we're living in fantasy land,
That's like
where
I can't suspend my disbelief that
like
much.
what?
That's less believable than
What?
Iron Man making a new element to charge his suit in Iron Man 2.
Yeah. It's like there is no world a huge wind turbine could create more power than a miniature arc reactor.
Yeah. Let alone
Okay, so because Iron Man 1 gives us a like resemblance of like, okay, this miniature arc reactor can power this suit and sustain flight for 20 minutes. Then we now know that suit, those tiny wind turbines and maybe some battery that's stored up in her solar panels puts not only enough power than an arc reactor because it can sustain the flight, it puts off enough to charge it to 100. And not so it's putting off as much as flying loses. So get rid of arc reactors. Let's get these miniature super turbines on everything, bro.
I mean,
they're this big.
If she was selling
They're
those,
this
she
big
would.
around its power. I mean,
If she just sold those, she wouldn't have had to join the heist crew and become a criminal.
you don't even need nuclear reactors.
No, just get the tiny little turbines.
Because we got wind turbines this big, and them things are absolutely cooking the power.
They're popping out like
they're
4
turning that thing up.
gigajoules an hour.
The arc reactor was supposed to revolutionize energy. The miniature arc reactor. Miniature wind turbine revolutionized energy. Gotta be less materials than the miniature arc reactor, and
But
I mean, so much more efficient.
yeah, but we got.
That's the one rant that I'm like, that was my crash out. You have your intro crash out. That's my crash out. What is that?
Yeah,
that is just stupid.
It's ridiculous. But we get to.
Oh, sorry. The wind turbine's a bit bigger. It's like this big. So my bad. That's on me.
It's not.
No, it is. I'm looking at Jake. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, it totally makes sense. But
I mean,
we get back to the episode. After that
big.
Yeah, it's tiny. After that, she remembers she has to meet Xavier for that Saba thing. They go. They hang out. They talk about.
Yappity. Natalie's mad because she didn't get to hang out.
Yep.
And then. Yeah, and then we see more tattoos in Mephisto foreshadowing. Well, this time I'm sitting here thinking it's going to be White Vision again, isn't it? They're clearly setting up Mephisto. Got to be White Vision. That's what it was in Ironheart. And then we learn Joe is still a pushover because he steps in dog crap.
Well, no. Then he cuts his neighbor's flowers.
Oh yeah. Sorry, he's a boss now.
He's boss man now, but still terrible. Episode 3, We in Danger, Girl. Opens the crew parties.
Stupid title makes a lot more sense than the real Natalie Please Stand Up.
Yeah.
First off, of course, always got to get it from executive producer Ryan Coogler, the Wakanda animated series trailer.
Of course. Every episode, don't forget.
Every episode.
It opens
the recap
with Riri partying with the crew. This is the following day. She went back.
Wait. We skipped over this. The hood shot a person.
Yeah, he shot a guard
in front of her. After the only reason she signed up, because she's a hero. The only reason she signed up is because they don't hurt people. So it's all good, so she can get her money to fund her new suit. Because they're not gonna hurt any people, and it's fine. It's billionaires' money anyway. Riri Williams is about to die because the one security guard with a gun is sitting outside. And we see the bullet bend, and it hits him in the shoulder. Riri's like, what have I done?
And then the next day, she goes and parties with the crew.
They're printing out the money.
She's making
Tom's
it
wearing
rain.
the hood. I'm saying, oh, look, I got the hood on.
And
And we get this
cousin John.
this title.
Oh yeah.
This title is the cash making the Ironheart symbol.
Yeah.
Me, I like this one the most, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like.
I think this party scene is stupid.
Yeah, why would she be
Apparently.
partying with them?
But
And why do
in
they
the
have
context of the
cash
show,
the next day?
in the context, well, they went to the bank, and I mean, I can understand that. You know, it's like there's people who it's like when they get big cash, it's like, oh, they want to actually see what it's like.
Yeah.
They get it, they deposit it. Remember, it's a Parks and Rec thing, but it's Andy's going through his bucket list, and he's like, he wants to hold $1,000, so he's holding $100 bills. He's like, this sucks. They get it on ones.
Yeah,
I know it's
yeah.
Andy Dwyer that they're getting compared to, but still, the
But
point
still.
is,
Yeah.
it's like these people grew up broke, nothing. So maybe it's like I want to just have fun with
fun.
cash. So
Yeah.
still, the fact that Riri's there partying with him after she
Why?
supposedly feels terrible.
Yeah, she feels so bad about the guard
Also,
getting shot.
I'm so
but-
confused. Why does she need the money? She built the suit without the money.
I don't
Why
know.
does she need this money? Why? This is the same as the MIT thing. Why does she need this money?
She doesn't. She
She
literally
didn't
just
need money
wants
from
the
MIT,
money. She doesn't need the money. She wants the
and she
money.
doesn't need this now.
Yeah.
This Ironheart intro. Clown's wearing the suit, and John gets real mad about this. Please so.
Spikes her head off a desk, and then Parker tells him
then-
to chill.
Parker's like, yo, chill out, bro. And then we get, I'm not a bad person.
She literally just walks into Parker's like office, and she's like, "I'm better than you guys. I'm not a criminal." And he's like,
Parker rightfully says, yeah, we're all criminals, you idiot.
"Yeah." And he's like, "So are you doing this
Then we
because your
get-
suit's so important?" And she's like, "No, no, no,
And
no,
then
no,
we
no,
get-
no. Not
Then we
important.
get, I want to build something.
Iconic.
Iconic.
Not important.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Heroic, not if people.
No. Iconic.
So, of course, to build something iconic, she decides to make a derivative Iron Man suit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know.
That's worse than any Iron Man suit, including the Mark
Oh
1.
no, it's got the super turbo.
Right.
It's not worse than Mark 1. Mark 1 was like
That's true, but he built it. I would personally rather have that than the Ironheart suit.
I think it's maybe looks wise, yeah, but it's like
It looks
itself.
cool.
The suit itself is horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Suit itself, he can't move.
Built
He
it.
can't even put it on himself.
That's true. I'm not serious, obviously, but still.
Either way, point is that whole thing happens. Episode 3, we're getting this. I mean, I'm gonna fly through most of this.
Nothing
Get
really
more
happens in this
Xavier.
episode.
So, Zeke shows up to her house, the big one, and we learn Stewart is dead at the end later. Episode 3, all this build up. There's some big heist. We get more Natalie scenes. Riri is now growing comfortable with her dead best friend AI that she made.
Yeah.
At this point, she's not gonna delete it anymore.
No, she's not gonna delete it, and she's
Past the point of it's a glitch and this is super weird.
You're
and
my
she's
my
all in.
glitch.
She's not yet. Not yet.
We'll
She
get-
hasn't
yeah.
accepted that, but she's all in on like, oh yeah, it's great to have my dead best friend back.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this isn't like actually her best friend. This is like what would be most
is-
convenient for her if it
Yeah,
was.
this is her memories of her best friend.
It's her version of her best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
And
that whole
now Joe's all confident. Natalie's like, oh, what were you about to say?
I mean, that's like basically the whole episode. Like nothing actually happens. in that
Joe
one.
is all well, no, the ending. Heist.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end of
He's
the
all confident.
episode,
So Joe's confident. Riri's like, oh, I made a monster. Stupid. We get more Hood, Fisto foreshadowing. We get the setup for these crimes. It's like they're talking on the shower. It's like shower. I just saw shower on the closed captions, and it was like as I was going to talk.
yeah.
Talking about the robberies on the news, and it's like then they get this big setup. It's like here's this guy who's farming. He's got farms.
He's bad because he has a farm.
Farms.
And they aren't farms. They're like 3 tiny greenhouses.
They got farms.
But the
Point is, there's
farms.
farms. You get the big reveal. I mean, personally, I gave this one a standing ovation. We find out Joe is the son of Obadiah Stane. Bum, bum. I mean, personally, standing ovation for me.
Yeah. No,
Applause.
I had to pause the episode and stand and clap for like 10 minutes straight.
Probably. I might have just turned it off. That way I could go out on a complete high note.
Yeah. Probably the best moment in MCU history. It's like Ezekiel Stane reveal. I am Iron Man. And that's it, really.
Point is, dude, why?
They can't make anything new that's good, so they have to bring it back to old stuff.
I know it's a character from the comics,
but like he's also an inconsequential character.
Care.
In the first 3 episodes, at least, like he barely adds value.
It has no relevance.
No, it doesn't change the story at all.
To the show that he's the son of his. It's like, oh, now there's a parallel when he hunts her down. Whatever. It's stupid.
It's dumb.
We get the big robbery of the greenhouse. Riri's big plan is that she's going to use a laser cutter to cut off the cloak, to study the cloak, the science, to figure out what makes it so magical.
She could just go to their hideout and cut it off anytime. And then
we literally saw a clown wearing it, by the way.
Yeah. And I want to say this real quick. It happens later, but she tries to like destroy that piece of the suit using like all these different things like acid, a literal bomb, and like all this different stuff, and it's indestructible. But she cut it. She cut it though with the laser cutter. Like it's like they literally came up with the story as they went while they were filming.
It was re-edited like 40 times, so
that's yeah. Like
there may have been more explanation for that.
It shows.
Of course, to break out, and the cousin catches her. Oh boy! He conveniently doesn't throw any knives at her.
Yeah,
he's trying to kill her.
Literally the only thing we know about this character is he's Parker's cousin and he's good with knives, and then he doesn't kill her with knives.
Throwing knives. He doesn't throw knives at her.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but hold on. I didn't see this coming. She loses the piece of equipment Joe gave her.
I'm shocked.
No,
I was baffled.
Now it's gonna track back.
Didn't see that one coming.
Everyone's dying from carbon monoxide. Riri lets this guy die. Okay, that's not. Sometimes heroes do kill people. I mean, dude, Iron Man 1, he is straight up murder.
He literally just kills like a bunch of people.
Kills everyone.
But
everyone he's fighting, he kills.
I take it kind of on like a superhero by hero basis. So like, if Spider-Man kills somebody, it's a big deal. If Iron Man or Captain America kills somebody, it's like, yeah, they kill people. So like,
Captain America is a little more. I think inherently most heroes shouldn't be killing.
Yeah.
I think it works in Iron Man. It's
terrorists.
It's kind of similar to Captain America, where he's like killing
Nazis.
I think you should be able to kill terrorists. Shout out Falcon and Winter Soldier.
John Walker.
Point is, right? I don't really think there's an issue with her letting this guy die. Yeah. I think it's a little ridiculous that she then freaks out.
Yeah.
And is like, and then Natalie's like, "Hey, chill." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're basically the real Natalie."
Oh my
god,
you're literally the real Natalie is standing up right now. Only the real Natalie could stand up like that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
To get now fully comfortable with her AI.
Yeah.
And then that was the first 3 episodes. Then we get Bad Magic, which is episode 4.
Yeah. This
came out. First things first.
Yeah.
Made a trailer.
What?
This was the first time I saw the animated trailer.
Yeah, this was the first time I saw the Wakanda trailer.
It was out yet.
Yeah.
Recap.
I was so confused.
Yeah, can you need a recap? Well, I didn't because I remembered how horrible the first show was.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Big flashback where Parker was trying to break into some building, and his cousin helped him out. Big reveal. It all goes to crap.
Now he's dead. Parker puts up a picture of John, and then next to that picture is like a framed Ironheart thing. That's our title card, and then it cracks.
Start talking about their all their memories of him, and that really sets Parker over the edge. He doesn't want to talk about that, and it's like at this point it's clear. It's like, oh, Parker was only being kept sane because his cousin John was there, keeping him sane.
Yeah.
Guy's really gonna snap.
Yeah.
Get more of this freaking Natalie wants to be introduced to. Xavier, and Joe gets arrested.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should be calling Zeke now.
Yeah. Zeke gets arrested, and then Riri visits him in prison, and she's basically like, "Hey, I'm sorry, bro. That's my bad."
Ever
That we get in the whole show.
because he says word for word. Hold on, I want to read this quote because it's literally the perfect description of every character trait she has to this point. And she's there. She's visiting Joe, and who like literally the one deal he had with her was like, just don't let anyone find this tag. She failed at that, and he's like, I don't know. You talk about this while I find this exact quote.
I mean, he's literally just like, the one thing he wanted her to do was not trace it back to him. He was willing to help her for free.
Well, he was getting blackmailed, but he literally says, "You're just a selfish kid who can't take any responsibility for herself. You lie, you cheat, you manipulate. You'll do anything you can to save yourself, even if that means hurting other people in the process." That is literally a perfect definition of every character flaw she has.
Yeah, it's like,
And we've seen it. We've
word
seen it.
for word.
She lies multiple times. She cheats and manipulates.
Yep.
And bro, it's like
Yeah, that's the only time we get an accurate character description from another
literally
character.
she hurts her. We just watched her let someone die so she can protect herself. She's clearly very selfish.
Yeah.
She's free because of her like thinking, but Joe's in prison and she's sitting there like bragging to him.
Yeah.
He's smirking and making jokes with this dude whose life is now over. He's like, why are you joking? And she's like, why are you mad?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I have literally in my notes for this episode, almost every other line is like, Riri refuses to be accountable for like the entire episode is literally just like, plot point, Riri is unaccountable.
And she gives out the watches. Can we talk about this? These watches are bulletproof watches that keep you safe anytime there's bullets that go off. So she goes on to Xavier and her mom. Mom's watching a show, the bullets go off, and the force field pops up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's foreshadowing. Hey, remember that. That's important for later.
Mm-hmm.
Nice tool that's gonna help us later.
And then
They go to the magic shop.
yeah, they go to the magic shop.
We already kind of talked about this. No one is near freaked out enough about the fact that this girl can just transport them to another dimension.
Yeah.
Sling ring, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
It ain't even the mirror dimension. They could have at least done the mirror dimension.
But no.
That's something that's already been established.
No, you forgot. She made her own magic, Caleb. She made her own magic. That's why her mom didn't take her to Kamartaj. So she could make her own magic.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's stupid.
She analyzed the cloak and she's like, "Hey, this is evil, man." She throws some gunk at a wall and she's like, "Yo, this is evil."
Yeah, yeah. And then they think it's Dormammu.
Dormammu. Riri can't destroy it. Oh, Riri first crashes out on her mom, because she's been lying to her mom.
Yeah, because her mom's trying to help her.
Mom's mad. Mom's mad that she's been lying, and she's like, "How dare you!" and then flies away.
Yeah.
After giving her a bulletproof watch.
And not telling her why.
Bubble. And not telling her why, and she's like, "How dare you ask? How dare you feel concerned?"
Yeah, how dare you feel like maybe
Keep in mind, her mom
scared.
still is not freaked out over this Natalie AI.
No.
Don't play that
She's
out.
supportive.
Her mom's
She's
only
supportive
concerned.
of it.
And she's supportive. She's like, "This is amazing. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." Dead best friend.
Yeah.
Reanimated corpse, but not even. It's worse, almost worse than the WandaVision reanimating her dead husband.
It's almost that bad.
Her dead, almost that bad. That one is worse because there's no reasonable reaction to it. No character actually reacts like, "You did what? You enslaved a town to reanimate your husband."
Yeah. And
in fact, she gets told they have no idea what you're saying.
And
but
created 2 kids.
We're not talking about WandaVision.
Yeah, that's a whole.
We're not talking about WandaVision. Point is, yeah, she goes back to Joe's lab and she does her big creation.
She tries to destroy the hood there as well.
Yeah, can't do it. Even
Can't
though the
do
laser
it.
can cut it. Hey, she doesn't have a laser anymore. Just more yapping with Natalie. Natalie still wants to be introduced to Xavier.
And
Mary
then
Williams has a panic attack.
Parker helps Zeke escape from prison. And then
Natalie goes to pick up.
Yeah.
Has not revealed herself yet. Xavier flies out. And this is where this really just pisses me off. So Natalie then reveals that she is still alive. Xavier's trying to help her. Xavier gives her a hug. Natalie shows up. The AI, not a real person. It's AI. It's artificial intelligence. She's like expecting her brother to be so glad to see her. Mind, this is not the real Natalie. It's already been shown. She has some of Natalie's memories. She doesn't have all of them.
But it's only because those are memories she had with Riri, because they're Riri's memories.
Brain scan.
Yeah.
Natalie. She wouldn't have any knowledge of anything other than times Riri was involved. And Xavier, finally, we get a reason. Freaks out because it's his dead sister standing there. And all he knows is that Riri created AI. So, it's his dead. And he's like, why do you have this? It's like, this is where it's like, Riri has this thing that she created, and she really likes this thing that she created. Right? And Xavier, her brother, her next of kin, essentially, because I don't know, we haven't seen her dad or anything, or her mom, so it's like,
Yeah.
just kind of have to assume that, is literally like, you gotta delete that.
Yeah, he's like, this is horrifying.
Delete
like,
that thing.
That's
that
my
thing.
dead sister. I grieved her.
Yeah, so, she is definitely wrong about this, where she's like, I'm not gonna... Okay, the stages of grief, right, or accepting loss, the first one is... The first one I can't remember. Denial?
Yeah.
I remember, the 5 stages of grief, whatever they are. One of them is acceptance. Riri clearly never got to acceptance, because she was like, oh, I don't have to accept it. I just have the version that I remember here in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't have to accept it anymore. He clearly already went through all of this because he is freaking out. And, we did skip over the fact that Xavier gives that speech saying there is nothing as good or bad.
Yeah. He tells her, she asks Xavier if she's a good person, and he tells her there's no good or bad, which is not true.
And she lied to her mom and her mom's friends.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So, Xavier uses sound logic to, essentially say, yeah, that's freaky as hell.
And
you have an AI.
She compares it to his mixtape where he sampled Natalie's voice. She compared it to that. She said, well, you had it in your mixtape.
I don't think this point has come across enough. This is literally a dead person.
It's a dead person.
It's come across probably enough in this episode.
It's their dead friend.
It's like, this is a dead human being who is dead. Who is killed tragically. It's Riri's best friend. It's Xavier's
sister.
Little sister, are they twins? I don't know.
Young.
It's really not clear.
Yeah.
Slightly younger sister in some way. Point is, his sister.
Yeah. Now
his friend, who was Natalie's friend, right? They're the only two people who really have a good understanding of each other of what was exactly said. Does Riri or Xavier say, I figured you would have been the one who understood me?
One of them says the other. I don't remember.
Point is, he says you had no right to use Natalie in your little toys.
Yeah.
Which is correct.
Yeah, he's right.
It's a dead person.
Yeah.
They're dead.
And the show and the writing act like it's just Natalie and how they interact.
This is the only time. This is the only time in the show where it's clear that it's yeah, this is insanely horrific that you've created this thing.
It's horrible.
But Natalie, the AI, gets sad because he calls it an it. Because it's a robot and it's not actually Natalie.
But it's not Natalie, so it shouldn't be upset about that.
Riri's sad. And Riri's sad as well. Yes, that's the big reveal for this episode. And then Zeke gets powers.
And a buzz cut.
That's episode 4.
And that's it.
Yep, that's episode 4. Episode 5 is called Karma's Glitch. Get this big deal. Riri's now getting hunted for. Not even going to mention it, but you know what starts the episode. The recap. Get Dormammu mentioned again. We get references to Doctor Strange. I don't know why he starts catching strays in this, but I just want to point out, no one should know what happened with Dormammu and Caecilius.
No one. No one should know that.
Especially not the Dormammu part. Caecilius did kill the Sorcerer Supreme, but
yeah,
Dormammu? No. That was the whole point. He showed up, and then he said, "Oh nope, time loop," and then went up there and experienced infinite death,
and
pain, and self-sacrifice.
Undid everything Dormammu did to Earth.
No one should know that happened.
No one. Literally, the only two that
Apparently
should know are Wong
Doctor Strange.
and
No, Wong. I don't even think Wong would only know because he explained it to him. Wong and
Mordo,
face.
Something like that. They're the only three that should know anything about it.
Who maybe would know because he explained it.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is the actually only person who knows
exactly
what's happening. They all show up to kill her because the Hood's crew show up to kill her because the Hood asked for her head.
Yeah.
The two siblings try to beat the hell out of her. At least Riri doesn't like brute for force fight them off.
Yeah. But she fights off two people together at the same time.
I don't know. She gets her ass. She gets her ass kicked.
She does.
But she's using stuff around that's like realistically that's the only way she'd be able to not be dead instantly.
Yeah. So I don't hate that scene. And then her watch traps them when they try to shoot her.
Say this. It is literally, it's like our comics where her and Pepper with no suit of armor are fighting off.
Yeah, are fighting off like the.
Look,
the
she
ninjas.
can do it without her armor.
Like,
this is literally Iron Man 3 without all like the good character development.
Yeah, it's like if Ironheart 3 was terrible or Iron Man 3 was terrible. And then Clown, after she beats them, Clown shows up and just like throws bombs at her in the White Castle. And then she just knocks her out. What?
Middle of Chicago. There's a lot of Asians in there.
Yeah. You know Chicago White Castles. They're super diverse. But she beats Clown.
On the Discord. By the way, on the Discord call, you are... Yeah, it's fine on the stream, but like...
Yeah, you're kind of a little bit as well. Yeah, I think you're fine.
I mean, everything else seems fine for me.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Everything else seems fine. For me, it's like, you're actually just not coming. It's like, I'm not getting a full sentence out of this. Either way.
All right.
That's all horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think it's fine. I think it's fixed. That all happens. Riri comes out of the White Castle, and Zeke's there. Oh, by the way, the whole bullet thing came back because she traps the twins in the force field. Then Zeke destroys her armor easily. So she doesn't have armor anymore. And Riri returns home.
I mean, her mom literally just like... Riri's just horrible to her mom, and then her mom just immediately forgives her and is like her mom is...
Okay,
that's what I'm getting to, is like her mom is like a good mom. She's probably the only decent part
Riri
of the
takes
show.
her back to the shop. Natalie shows up again. Still, by the way, after Xavier was like, you're a horrible person for doing this. Natalie shows back up.
Yeah. And Xavier's
her mom is still like, she's amazing.
And Xavier also is like one of her best friends. Her only friend other than Natalie.
Natalie's
who's dead.
Living.
Yeah. And Natalie's next of kin. And he thinks it's Abomination, yet she still keeps it. Like, she acts like she cares about Xavier, but she keeps Natalie knowing that he's, like, horrified because it's his dead sister. Riri's a horrible person and a horrible friend.
Mom takes her back to the shop, and Riri has some flashbacks, and I believe we they get the return. I don't know. I don't know if it's yet, but eventually we do get the infamous "You're a glitch, but you're my glitch."
Yeah.
Um, Horrific scene.
Horrible.
Literally just like ruining any chance at actually having like a character.
Yeah.
The best form of character growth. She created this entity. She's created this entity that is an inherent like evil, not evil, very morally screwed up thing. It is a reanimation of her dead best friend and someone's brother, someone's daughter, and she is using this thing for her own personal benefit. She has been told by Natalie's brother that this is in fact horrific and terrible, and she should delete it. She has no right to do it. But no, instead of them showing us in writing, this is a big writing issue, showing us that yes, this was a mistake, and her best chance for growth at this point would be she has to sacrifice this creation. And if they wanted you to care about this Natalie AI, they would have the AI do this as well. She has to sacrifice this creation that she made. That's really cool because it's the physical conscience of her friend or whatever. Sacrifice it because it's morally not. It's in fact morally wrong.
Yeah.
I'd argue.
Yeah.
It's pretty fair to argue. It's literally they did it with WandaVision.
Yeah.
She has to sacrifice this fantasy that she has.
Yeah. That she just made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make her heroic in a sense because she's still. But if she accepted morally that it was like,
it'd be growth.
I need to do this. I need to do this because this is what a hero would do. Is they wouldn't sit around here and parading because it's their invention. And some people tell them this is amazing. Go back to Iron Man. Obadiah Stane, dude, you're incredible. You're making weapons. To keep doing this, and he's like, no, that's not good.
Yeah.
Her mom's sitting here. Obviously, her mom's a little less evil than Obadiah Stane.
Yeah.
Sitting there. This invention, this AI is absolutely incredible. You should get. And she agrees. She's like, yes, this is amazing. I can't believe I made this. And just come on, like this is the one. And this is I scribbled this because when I was taking these notes, I was like, okay, we know her flaws. Her flaws are shown very clearly in the first 3 episodes, and episode 4 is obviously should be the turning point where Xavier's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't think they're gonna turn around because this is a big problem they have when writing a lot of these characters is that they don't do this. And just like he just doesn't do it. The biggest chance at character growth, I have this written. This is biggest chance at character growth would be deleting Natalie.
Yeah. 100%.
Accepting that.
Moving on.
You're my glitch.
You're my glitch. Caleb.
Opposite of character growth.
You're my glitch.
It's the opposite. No, because I'm alive and I'm the real one. Oh, if I was dead,
you
and
die,
you want to chat GPT and typed out all of my personality traits and every memory you remember, and then said create a AI companion for me, then I'd be your glitch.
Yeah. I'll make one of those like Instagram AIs that you can talk to, and it'll just be Caleb.
And then I'm gonna go, this is horrible of you to make. You should delete this.
Yeah, your family would
Then
be
you're
like,
gonna be
"Oh, why would you do that? That's horrible." And I'd be like, "Cause
Then you're
I
gonna be
like it.
He's my glitch.
He's
yeah,
he's
because
my
it benefits me.
Cause
It
it's
benefits
good for me, not you, me."
That is literally the opposite of character growth.
Yeah.
Staying in your own morally wrong route, and now she was always right. She was always right. She accepts that the AI is real and has feelings. So it's the opposite of character growth because it keeps her in this route of she did this thing that's horribly wrong, and now it's correct because she's decided it's correct. She's accepted that it's the correct thing. It comes to the realization that she was right the whole time, and she shouldn't have deleted this.
Yeah.
Xavier is the one who's wrong.
Yeah. Somehow.
She comes to that conclusion after watching memories of her dad or dad.
Yeah.
There's something about maybe we had to save the bad. We have to can't cut off our memories so that we can remember the good ones. I think.
Yeah. So what they could have done with that scene, Natalie played her through Natalie's memories that Riri gave her, a bunch of flashbacks of her and her dad, like, in their garage together. And it's just like her re-remembering a bunch of stuff from her childhood. And what they could have done with that scene is have Riri realize that, like, she needs to move on from this, and she needs to keep those memories, but not just hang on to them all the time. She has to cherish those memories,
Literally
but be able to
hang
move
on to
on.
the memories of Natalie, not the freaking AI vampire you made.
Exactly. But instead of Riri coming to that realization and growing as a character and, like, coming to terms with that, instead the realization she comes to is that, oh, I am morally right for having Natalie, and I should keep Natalie.
Correct the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion she comes to.
Exactly. And
That
then
is super helpful for me. Need to keep it.
exactly. And then after this,
It's the car. There's the car.
they get the car that her and her dad used to work on, and they make her new
Xavier.
suit out of that.
Not yet. Because first Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Not Xavier. Sorry, Zeke. First Zeke. Reveal. Bro, this is a problem. Joe was too close to John, and Ezekiel's too close to Xavier.
Yeah.
Like so I keep mixing these names up. We get that he says I killed her, and then Hood's like, that's not enough pizzazz, and then Clown adds pizzazz, and he's like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You killed her then. Now I believe you.
Obviously he doesn't actually believe her.
Yeah, obviously.
Now she starts building the suit. Xavier looks at these headphones that Riri got in episode 1 and reads some note, and whatever was in this note, I don't think they ever tell us what was in the note.
Not really, no. It just had like a Star Trek logo on it, and they had talked about Star Trek before.
Somehow, yeah, I guess they reveal a little bit what's in the note.
Yeah.
Somehow, this note is so powerful, Xavier comes to the conclusion that, oh, you know what? That whole dead sister AI thing's not that big a deal.
I can deal.
There's one thing justifying ending a friendship over, even if it's your last friend left on Earth. It's that they made a dead sibling AI of it.
Yeah.
They made your dead sibling an AI for their own personal use.
Yeah. It's utterly ridiculous. But then he
doesn't
just
come to that conclusion quite yet. First they create the suit. Everyone shows up. The little
kid.
Hood kicks everyone out. Hood kicks everyone out.
Yeah.
Of his club, and he's like, "You guys, no." So now everyone's gone. Zeke had already left, but now everyone's kicked out.
Yeah.
And they don't ever come back, right? This is the last we see of them.
Yeah, that's the last we see any of the crew.
I'm glad this didn't happen. I was expecting them to show up and help Riri.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be like, well, he turned on us.
We're a family.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that, but kind of random. This is the last. I would imagine in prior edits of this show there were more involvement.
I agree. There definitely was.
But
But
this is a very random way to leave them off.
Parker.
So then Xavier returns, and we get the whole we got to use magic.
Yeah.
Right, magic.
To power the suit, they need magic because she's not smart enough to build a power source on her own.
Yes, she is. She got them super turbines.
Yeah, why doesn't she just use them again though? She acts like that was temporary and that could never work long term.
Make it a little bit bigger, and you're powering the Earth.
Yeah, I mean,
if one this big,
imagine one
that
the
suit.
size of like
If
an
one
actual
this
wind
big.
turbine. How much power that could put
big.
off?
outpowers the Mark I arc reactor to an extreme extent.
Like exponentially more.
Exponentially more. Massively more.
Yeah.
Because the Mark I arc reactor can only sustain the flight. I'm not going to go on that whole rant again.
Yeah.
Imagine if she made it 50% bigger.
Or I mean,
Not
like
only are we powering the new suit, not only powering this new suit,
Power-
she's powering her house for a year.
Chicago.
She's powering. I mean, Chicago's getting lit up. I mean, the Watch Dogs blackout wouldn't be able to like keep Chicago in the dark, bro. Like this wind turbine. I think we need to talk about this. This wind turbine is incredible.
we need to implement this thing.
I don't know.
As soon
I
as
don't know
possible.
why. I don't know why she needs a new power source of magic. This thing is magic.
Yeah.
You already discovered magic. It's called the super turbine.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that.
Yeah. But so they make her suit, they do the magic, and like as Zelma, the magic
Hold on.
character.
Because first Joe, Zeke tries to go zap neighbor's flowers as he's leaving. It's big reveal. Oh, Parker.
He controls Zeke. Oh boy.
Control the powers. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Then they show up to this mystery man's house from the flashback in episode 4. Parker's now fully dripped out as the Hood. He's got the suit on, the hood, and he's shooting, killing all these guards. Kind of a fun action scene. You get the big reveal. This guy he wanted to rob this whole time was his dad.
Yep. I don't. Yeah. It's so dumb. I don't. This show
It was
sucks.
his dad. So now it's not just he was evil for the sake of ambition and he wanted to grow bigger. That was part of it. But it's because his dad was bad to him.
Yeah.
He's misunderstood.
It's misunderstood. You just don't get it.
Luckily, they don't try to really redeem him. Thank gosh.
I'm sure they will.
I was shocked.
In
I
Ironheart
was
season
shocked. I was shocked that they didn't have him like fight with her against Mephisto, because that is how every Marvel villain has been.
For
going back to Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
Killmonger was just, he was right, but he was going about it the wrong way. It can work once.
When you do it every
and then we
time.
get Sentry, and then we get Red Hulk, and then we get the last guy who wasn't was probably Harvey Weinstein from Black Widow.
Yeah.
Whatever his actual name was,
I don't remember.
Eternals, I guess the Sentry, I guess the I don't even
It was just like a vague ending. It was like, eh.
Eternals sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. But
Either way, now they're powering the suit
with magic, and they're doing the magic, and Natalie's gone. Poof.
for some reason.
The suit can't hold Natalie and the magic.
But Natalie's scared.
She is scared. She's very scared.
She has emotions because she's real.
She's real.
Real Natalie.
She's real. And then
Keep in mind, Riri should have come to the conclusion that she should have deleted this freaking AI herself. But no, instead, now she's like, I'll figure out how to get you back.
Yeah.
So now, if it was already the opposite of character growth, we have gone completely off the deep end, because now
she's gonna do it again.
now it's not, bro. She's gonna figure out how to bring her back.
And
She tries to scan her brain back.
And
back.
It gets
and it
worse.
doesn't work.
Episode 6 too.
Yeah.
At the
and
end.
that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
So now she doesn't have Natalie again.
And then the episode
get
6,
episode
the
6,
past is the
past
past,
is the past.
which is like the title makes it seem like she's gonna grow and move on, and then the ending is like, oh, okay, she didn't. That's awesome. She got way worse.
So, we get the flashback to Parker, and we get the reveal of my main man Borat.
Yeah, my wife.
This is my diner. To my diner. I open the door for you. And Parker walks inside the door and he says, I have deal to offer.
I have deal.
So Sacha Baron Cohen, I'm sure there's no alternative motives for him accepting this. Probably not because he owes his ex-wife a whole bunch of money.
Not because he has a
There's
lot of
no way
alimony
he
to
has.
pay. No, Borat didn't make that much money.
Borat was funny. I don't
Yeah,
think
I don't think he made
got
100
$75 million in the bank left over.
Yeah.
I was kind of down with this, like, okay, we're not going to show Mephisto is actually Mephisto quite yet. He's going to appear as a human.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was kind of cool.
Kinda...
Now, it doesn't ever happen in the comics, but it's like, the devil could have taken any form.
Exactly.
I kind of like the idea. It's like, oh, look, he's a normal human. He can appear as this. And then I was assuming, as much as I thought this all sucked, by the way.
Yeah.
I was assuming at the end we were going to see actual Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. By the way, I'm just going to give you a big spoiler alert here. You never see him.
No, it's
He he says, you can call me Mephisto.
That's it. That's all you get. And then you get... Shake.
Either way. Sacha Baron Cohen, I think he's pretty good in this scene. It's hard for me to just not see. It's hard for me just to not think Borat every time I see him.
It's like if...
It's my magic. You take my cloak.
Yeah.
It's very fat.
Make my deal. Like, shut. Like,
Stick
stop.
in my hand. This is a make deal. You get magic power, I get soul. You
What-
won't even miss it.
What'll it cost? Nothing you miss. Like, dude, just...
Nothing you miss. our Borat impressions are all right, but they're kind of slipping into into Mario.
Yeah, they're slipping out of.
It's me, a Borat. It's not quite Kazakhstani anymore. It's more just Italian plumber racist.
Yeah,
It's more a Japanese person's racist interpretation of an Italian plumber.
pretty much. Yeah, but
It's us doing a bad interpretation of a jokingly racist interpretation of a Kazakhstan accent. Instead of coming off as that, it's coming off as a Japanese person's racist interpretation of an Italian plumber.
pretty much exactly.
It's my life.
My life.
And then Borat. I kind of like his scene.
I think he was fine.
In WandaVision.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
No, we get Ironheart, and we don't
Yeah.
even get to see him.
And they didn't even.
We see
they
his
didn't really even set him up.
We see his reflection in a spoon. That's
Yep.
the closest. Yeah, he stirs his tea or coffee or whatever, and then like sets his spoon down, and you see like his red face in the spoon. It's
Wait, you do? I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I was so not paying attention.
yeah.
I probably missed it because I was 1.5x.
You probably you probably did. It was like
Probably was so fast.
yeah, it didn't.
Oh, he freezes all the people in the diner. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, he's turbo powerful.
Yeah, that's all with Parker. When that's like the origin of how Parker gets his hood.
Yeah, because he's like, I'll give you everything. And then he walks up and he's like, you forgot your cloak. And he's like, that's your cloak now.
That's your clothes.
This America, you have cloak.
And then
Should
after
fit, even though you're very fat. You Americans are very fat.
after that whole hood origin, there's only 30 minutes left in the episode.
All I can think of is the scene where Borat says the N-word, by the way. That was the other thing I could picture.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just like...
And then so we cut back to the present, and Parker's having a feast at his dad's old house with Zeke, where he's like forcing Zeke to eat and
Oh,
stuff.
and that's the big Ironheart reveal in this one, by the way.
That's the title card is like
that's the
spelled
worst.
out in
I'm
the
gonna be
hood.
honest.
I hate
That's
it
the worst
so
part of the
much.
show.
It
It looks like trash.
looks really bad. It's just
It's
Ironheart
not even
spelled out with
believable
food.
that the plate is spelling that out. Yeah, I think it might be AI.
It could be.
This looks. I'm gonna be honest. This looks like AI.
Let me see. Pop that up.
I don't-
It does look like AI.
I don't. It's not like blatantly AI,
It's not-
but it looks like it very well could be.
It's not like the Secret Invasion intro, but it's also not good.
Yeah, it looks pretty subtle, and it might not be AI. It might just be some CGI, but it kind of looks like AI.
Yeah. And then
Anyway, my least favorite one in the show for sure.
yeah.
Zeke stabbed himself with a fork. Blah blah blah. Riri Williams tries to get back her thing. We get Borat back.
Yeah.
Borat comes back. Still not. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking maybe it appears as normal Mephisto. You know, now that he's already tricked. Now that he's already tricked. I
Parker.
forgot his name. Parker. Now he already tricked Parker into signing away his soul. I'm like, okay, now he's gonna appear as the actual devil.
Yeah.
Nope. He's just he's got that on though. He got the he's got the suspenders. And he looks all
He is tough.
he's standing there. He's standing there. He thinks he's looking all tough. Yeah. Basically, he says, "Don't lose the cloak." Riri Williams comes for the cloak. She fights Zeke. And her big plan for getting rid of hacking going on, she's got hacking the mainframe.
I'm in.
To knee him in the balls.
Yeah, because that's the one place where they didn't put like technology, so it'll reset
Yeah,
his
Mr.
system.
Stud.
Yeah.
And Mr. Stud.
So she.
Cyberpunk players know.
So she knees him in the balls.
How does she even know this? How does she know that's gonna be the thing that opens her up to hack back into the mainframe?
Smartest person alive.
Well, I guess
You forgot about that.
This is where we get more of this writing, where it's like, first person alive now just knows because she is the smartest person alive. It's like, oh, if I knee him in the balls, it'll reset.
Yeah. So she.
Anyway, let's flush through this. She rehacks him, and she's like, "We're friends now, right?"
And he's like, "No, we're not friends."
Because obviously,
Yeah, because you ruined my life. And then she heads up, and she's like, Parker, I need the hood.
And he's like, well, now it's time to fight.
He goes, ha 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 ha. Even though you
And
have
they
your
start
fancy
fighting.
suit, you're still not helping people.
And then that whole magic thing, he uses it once.
And they fight, and he uses guns the whole time. Like, for most of the fight.
No, his guns are gone. His guns are gone immediately.
Well, he tries to use his guns.
He turns into Morbius.
Yeah.
He literally looks like Morbius, and he starts clawing at her suit, and he's destroying it. This fight, keep in mind, this fight's been going for 2 minutes, maybe.
Not
She
that
says,
long.
activate emergency protocol.
Blows up.
It blows up. Clearly, something actually blew up. There's smoke. He can't see. He's walking through smoke, and he walks out, and he's like, "You don't have a suit of armor now. Now you're just as weak as a normal person." And then
he's about to shoot her.
Kill her, and it's like, "Oh, it's a hologram."
And then she's still in her suit. I don't know what blew up.
Suit is not damaged.
Not at all. Not even like before she self-destructed, he had like ripped her suit apart a little bit when he was going Morbius mode, and none of that damage was visible either.
Sweet hologram, right?
Pretty sweet, right? Pretty cool, right? Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I don't know what the explosion was. Scratch marks on there, maybe.
It's like a little bit, but
what was the explosion? Something actually exploded.
I don't know.
I don't know. Point is, it's stupid. She steals the cloak from him now. It's like, that's all I have. And she's like, if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. And she gives him oversized clothes, and he walks back home to his apartment with his aunt. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, I think that was something else.
Point is, she takes his cloak and
walks downstairs, and it's
into a diner. It's my diner.
My diner.
My name Mephisto. Mephisto. And he's like, and he does the same thing everyone in the show's doing. Even though we know it's manipulation. You're the smartest person alive.
Yep.
Everyone wants to keep you down. And she's like, he's like, I can give you anything you want. All you got to do is give me something. You're not even going to miss it.
You're not going to miss it.
And obviously, any hero be like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
The past is the past. You know, that's the title of the episode. I'm going to have to make do with the fact that my friend's dead, and then my horrific vampiric recreation of my friend is also deleted.
She also just watched what it did to Parker over the course of, like, a week. Like, she watched how it corrupted him, and he, like, went crazy. And then she was like,
I'm making all these notes. Keep in mind, I am making all of these notes when I'm watching the show of like, okay, this is what makes her. She's not really a hero. This is kind of what makes her a villain. You know, it's like a couple pages in the small little notebook I got here. My last page, it's like, what makes her a villain? Literally, it's flipped because it's a mirror, but literally made a deal with the devil. What are you doing?
She's the hero.
The deal.
She's the hero.
Can I say, even if this is inherently supposed to be that she's sacrificing herself to bring her friend back, I don't know if that's what the writers are going for. She wanted her AI back. She didn't want her friend back.
Yeah. She didn't even wish for actual Natalie back. She just wanted the AI version.
She walks up to the new
Natalie.
She's like, she says, run diagnostics.
That's the first thing she said.
She didn't want her friend. She didn't want her friend. She wanted her AI.
And then she like hugs her and realizes it's actually her. And it's like, you wanted the AI version of your friend who's like...
You wanted the one you created.
Yeah. Like she has a god complex. And she made a deal with Satan.
Okay, basically, that's how it ends. We get my name is Mephisto. The post-credit scene is Parker talking with Magic Girl. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're ever going to see either of those characters again.
No. Definitely not.
I think we're going to see Riri Williams back in the Avengers stuff and stuff like that. I don't think Parker and Magic Girl are ever coming back.
I just don't think they will. I mean, there's no reason to, honestly. Nobody liked the show.
I don't even know what that's setting up. Is that a reference to something?
I don't know.
Why is that a post-credit scene? Why is that a post-credit scene?
I don't know, because she's
It
not
felt like
like
a horrible. Can I just say this? It felt like a horrible version of the Doctor Strange 1 post-credit scene.
yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
But we're more. I think it's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no,
We're
it
more
was
to
one.
like
It was
takes the
one.
powers from someone.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it kind of felt like to me, but it was like a horrible version of it.
Yeah. That's
Right.
what it felt like.
That's the whole. That is all 6 episodes of Ironheart.
Yeah.
Just about an hour to fly through that. Hour 20. Because we spent a lot of time yapping to open up this show about random other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just all right. So now that we have the whole context of the show, let's talk about this. Let's talk about. We've already touched on a lot of the issues. What are your other issues?
So she's just a bad character in general, and it's like I can't bring myself to root for a character who I can't stand. Like, she's just unbearable the entire time, and like she's constantly talking about how great she is and how underappreciated she is and how much of a genius she is, but she never displays that at any point ever. It's just talking about how much of a genius she is, which is like unbearable to watch.
I gotta correct you. She actually knew that if she needed in the balls, it would shut down.
You're right. And she made
she
those little wind turbines that are stronger than an arc reactor.
Super turbines.
Strong,
She's clearly genius.
Stronger than an arc reactor.
She wants an arc reactor. No, in fairness, I don't know that it's technically stronger than a normal arc reactor.
But in terms of
it's at least stronger
functionality in the show
than the Mark 1 reactor.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And also just the plot. Like, there's nothing actually pushing the plot forward other than her own greed and selfishness. Like, there's no reason she constantly needs this money because she already has it at the start with the MIT grants. That's
my other big problem.
Yeah. There's no drive.
And so I had already mentioned that her deleting Natalie would be her best chance at like making a heroic act and like she's starting to become a hero. It still wouldn't matter because she inherently doesn't care about stopping Parker and his crew just because they're stealing and killing and doing. She's doing it because they're going to threaten her family.
Yeah.
They're going to kill her.
Yeah. It's just for the money.
No. I'm saying kill. Like she's going to go. She needs to go stop Parker, not because Parker's evil, but it's because Parker is going to harm her. It's in her best interest to take him out. It has nothing to do with like the greater good or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, she had no problem stealing all that money. And she's not even trying to stop this to make her decision right.
Yeah, and nor did she ever like
herself.
try to give the money back that she stole. Like, she kept it.
Well, I think she spent it on her new armor.
But still. It's just a bad show.
Yeah, it is. And I think all the re-editing comes through. It's not as, I will say this, it's not as bad as Captain America Brave New World, where it's like the re-editing on that is horrible and makes it's very clear that's horrible. It's still pretty bad in this show, but when you're working with crap to start with, it's not like you're gonna ruin it that much more by editing it. It comes across. I think Parker's crew never showing back up again doesn't make a lot of sense. How that was set up. And I don't know. There's a lot of other issues with this show. I think the writing doesn't make a lot of sense. Obviously, to be clear, I think there's a lot of inexperienced writers.
Yeah.
The fact that this is supposed to be the last thing to build up to Fantastic Four is not.
Yeah, it's really not good. Especially, like, Fantastic Four looks okay. And this was horrible, and it's the last thing before Fantastic Four.
Does not look okay.
I'm being very generous and hopeful.
To me, it doesn't look okay. It looks horrible to me.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't look good.
I was hoping it would start to look better. The female Silver Surfer is stupid. We can move off this Ironheart discussion. I think we kind of get through most of what we want to say. We might come back to it. Let's talk a bit. I don't want to. We probably won't go too much longer. I think we're going to talk a bit about Fantastic Four, maybe a little bit of setup for Superman, but not too much.
Yeah.
And then F1, and then we'll probably wrap this up. But
I would love Fantastic Four to be good, but I just don't think it will be.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is, I don't have any hope. If Daredevil Born Again came out and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was horrible. It was supposed to be amazing and it was horrible. Even if it was all right. And then maybe I'd have hope. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be good. It's not.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Brave New World sucked. Thunderbolts was like the most mediocre thing I've ever seen.
It just looked better because mediocre. it was like feces, normal garbage feces.
Yeah. And then this, which is somehow, I don't know if this is. It's gonna take a lot for me to say it's worse than Brave New World.
Yeah.
Brave New World's bad. Have you seen it yet?
I watched a lot of it on Disney Plus, and I had to stop.
It's just rough,
and it's just bad.
It suffers from a lot of issues that Ironheart has, but it's like, it just doesn't make sense. That whole thing, that might be a whole other rant we have to do at some point. It's just talking about how bad that movie is.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of hope for Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. This is the last thing before Avengers Doomsday. Obviously, that the MCU, Marvel, Disney's great. Sony's making Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
This is the last thing. So, Fantastic Four needs to be good for them. Just keep in mind, there's going to be a 16-month break. At minimum, 16 months until next December when Avengers Doomsday come out. That movie's getting delayed again.
Yeah, 100%.
No way that thing comes out in December. It's probably going to come out May of 27, would be my guess.
Probably.
Maybe they'll figure it out because I'll say this because they are just literally the script writers are on set and they're writing the script as they're filming the movie.
Yeah.
No actual plot. They're like, what characters do we have? There's 80 million characters. All right, cool. Let's figure it out.
Which actors are here today? Like,
yeah. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. So, point is, Fantastic Four needs to do something. I think it's gonna. I was thinking it was gonna do all right, dude. It's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb. I mean, it's probably cost them $300 million, $250 to $300. I'll give them a generous break-even point of $500 million. That's not the break. Oh wait, no, that's not even the break. That wouldn't even be. Say they spent. Let's go super conservative on this. They spent $200 million on it. That's what they spent on Thunderbolts. They said they spent on Thunderbolts. They probably spent more on Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Let's say that. They will have spent way more on this. The marketing for this is minimum $200 million.
Yeah.
Marvel's
they've done
normal
a
marketing.
lot of marketing.
Marvel's normal marketing is double your budget.
Yeah.
That you spent on the movie. This one, I feel like it's probably more, but we'll just say it's double. We'll call it double. That's $400 million total now. That's the actual budget with marketing. Let's say that. Is it? No. Okay. Now they have to make $400 million at the box office. Except no, they don't, because this is the big thing that people seem to just not comprehend when they're talking about these budgets. They don't get 100% of box office proceeds. They get conservative number is 50%.
Yeah.
It's the generous number. It's more like 40, and if you're going to China, it's like 20.
Yeah.
So now they have to make $400 million is their minimum amount. So now you gotta, it'll be nice again, double it, $800 million.
Yeah.
I think $800 million is maybe the break even.
Yeah.
I think,
which it's never.
Maybe the marketing's not quite $200 million. Maybe it's not. The budget definitely is more than $200 million. This movie they would need that movie to break $1 billion for it to be reasonable, and also to build some kind of hype for Avengers Doomsday. I think it can maybe get to $500 million.
Maybe
it's good. It could drag its way to 850.
If it has good word of mouth, I think maybe, but I don't think opening weekend's going to be crazy.
I think the opening weekend is going to be good. I mean, most Marvel movies, I don't know how good. It'll be 130 million.
Yeah. It'll be typical Marvel.
But then Marvel tends to have a massive drop off the second weekend. Yeah. And so unless it's good, people aren't going to talk about it positively. You know what? I think Superman's got a chance of being good. I don't know if it will be. The more trailers I see, the less hope I have. But maybe it'll be good. And if that's good, it's like, okay, we can either go to Fantastic Four. It's like these are two movies that are. Oh, we got a chat message. Disney sells people's insecurities back to them. You're in bed with the mouse now.
Yeah, exactly.
They tend to. Like the point is, it's that chat message is actually pretty relevant. That's what they're doing with Fantastic Four again.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Every report I've heard is that it's not actually the Fantastic Four movie. It's Sue Storm the movie.
Yeah.
Sue Storm and her band of friends. And that's not a great sign. So we got female Silver Surfer and Sue Storm. Now Invisible Woman, very powerful in the comics.
Yeah.
Great
Fantastic
character. Four's whole point is they work together as a family. It's the first family of Marvel. They've quite got it right in the movies. It hasn't been fantastic. Say that again. And Pedro Pascal is just not it for Reed.
I just can't believe that he's smart. Like,
it's not it. I mean, I could even believe he's smart. He's in way too much stuff. Pedro Pascal fatigue is a real thing.
He's been in like every universe.
Been in everything. He has been in everything, dude. And he's gonna be in the next Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and
terrible.
And Reed Richards and like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt would have probably been great for Reed Richards and Invisible Woman.
100%.
No, I would imagine. I don't know if they actually asked John Krasinski to do it. He was doing it in
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness as like a middle finger to the fans. It's like, this is who you wanted to cast. Well, watch him die.
Yeah.
Watch
him get.
I don't actually know if that was their true intention.
That's how it came across.
Apparently, a lot of actors turned them down.
Yeah, that's what
like Richards.
That's
Pedro Pascal doesn't turn down roles. That dude wants to be in everything.
Yeah.
He is in everything. I just completely Vanessa Kirby. Yeah. I think she looks like Sue Storm. I think that's fine. I think the guy who plays Johnny looks like Johnny. From what I've heard about the writing of him, it's not going to be Johnny. He's going to be respectful and Johnny.
Yeah.
The thing, as long as the CGI looks good, it'll look fine.
Yeah.
Most of the trailers look fine. There was that one close up that looks horrible, but
yeah, but I'm gonna try and give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna see it.
But maybe it's not finished.
It might not be finished.
Maybe it wasn't. Hey, there is that shot in the trailer where he's standing there with that drip, though.
Yeah.
The thing he's standing there with that drip. He's got that drip on.
He's got it on.
I don't know. Female Silver Surfer was a stupid decision. Hate all the wiki warriors out there. Yeah, it's in the comics. It's in there for 2 panels. There is a different female Silver Surfer that shows up for a little bit longer. But Shia LaBeouf is in like 2 panels of a comic book. She's just doing the story that Norrin Rad is.
Yeah.
It's not Silver Surfer. It's stupid. That was a dumb decision and not one they needed to make, and they were struggling already. I don't know. I think it's gonna bomb.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose money on it. I don't really want to.
Well, they're gonna lose money. I think that and Superman lose money. It's gonna lose money. It's matter good or bad. They're gonna lose money.
Superman?
Dude, I'm just saying. Yeah, Superman's. Bro, they spent like $300 million on Superman's budget, and that's like a low.
Yeah, that's true. I think Superman.
There was a tax document. There was a tax document in Ohio that was like, we spent $350 million for our tax credit. Then James Gunn said, that's probably a mistake. It's probably some intern. It's like, but he did tax fraud? You just committed tax fraud? So that's the budget. We already established, dude, they are doing marketing.
Dude.
Yeah. It's more than double the budget.
100%. Yeah,
so,
they've spent.
We're looking at like lower billions is a conservative like.
Yeah,
like remake the money back.
Yeah, I think
it's
if they
essentially they're sunk. They're like it's a sunk cost fallacy.
100%.
If this does super well, we can make it all back on all the new DC projects.
Exactly. They're not going to make money on this.
Fairness,
they're going to make
DC's
money off
been
the stuff they make after this. They've been trying to rush a universe for like 2 decades.
Superman is going to lose money. I hope it.
I hope
it's.
I just hope it's good.
I hope it's amazing. It's
going
to have a massive opening weekend.
Yeah.
I think the right now the public opinion on Superman way better than Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Notice for me. Even though I'm starting to just be like, bro, James Gunn, just stop, bro, just.
Yeah.
They stopped marketing this movie a month ago. It probably would have performed. It's probably gonna perform a lot weaker. For me, I would have so much more hope going into it.
Yeah. I agree. But
I
just hope
it's
it's
successful. A massive box office, and then if it's actually good, we'll tell you to go see it. If Fantastic Four comes out and sucks, there's gonna be people who are looking to take their family to either the family movie Fantastic Four or Superman, which is clearly a family movie with all the crypto advertising. Like you can take your kids to this.
Yeah.
You can take your girlfriend who doesn't know anything into this.
Yeah.
It's Superman. That's as popular as Fantastic Four is in the comics. If you go up the street and say, name a superhero team, they're gonna say Avengers and they're gonna say the Justice League.
Yeah.
Probably say the X-Men if they can get the 3. That they might say the 7 from the boys. Name in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Nobody's calling the
If you
Fantastic.
tell them to name a superhero, you know what they're gonna say? Spider-Man, Batman, Superman,
Yeah.
Iron Man. Those are the first 4 that will get named.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Superman has way more pull.
yeah, I just want it to be great. I'm starting to lose hope that it will be, but I just really hope that it is. We're gonna go watch it opening night, and then we're gonna stream after as well.
Technically, it's the second night, but
Technically it's the second night, but
the official opening night, but it's not the preview night. It's Friday night.
yeah, Friday night we'll be streaming after the movie.
So that's a little bit of a preview of what's going on. Both those movies are massive for their individual. If Superman bombs, get ready to learn Fast Track the Batman 2, buddy. Like,
Yeah,
DC is canning everything. If it's good though, get ready to have DC content shoveled down your throat.
Oh yeah,
Because James Gunn is going to use that and just hammer home the success of, hey, this was good. Now we got to greenlight this, and this.
yeah.
Well, say goodbye to the Batman Part 2 because Batman Brave and the Bold's coming out after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I don't remember if Brave and the Bold's the movie or if that's
It's
something else they're making.
Yeah, Brave and the Bold. That's the movie.
Wait, even if it's not, get ready to learn. Batman's been casted. The movie's coming out. It's happening.
Yeah.
Batman 2 is dead.
Yeah.
This movie makes like $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money to make. I don't think it's gonna make that.
No, I
But
don't think so.
If it,
If it does, that's what's gonna happen. If it's a success, we're not getting the Batman 2. If it's a horrible
the
flop,
weird thing, I think the most likely if it's like 800 million.
yeah,
God, dude, it's got to beat the Man of Steel adjusted for inflation.
it has to.
Otherwise, the Snyder Bros.
Snyder Bros will
are
destroy it. They will rip it to shreds.
Oh my gosh, the Snyder Bros are gonna just
Tear it apart. I can't even imagine.
gotta
how
beat
bad
it with
it'll be.
inflation.
You have to.
James Gunn's got to do that because he has been like, man, here's why I'm so amazing.
Yeah, it's James Gunn's Superman. Like,
Yeah,
It's-
Superman's James Gunn.
and it's not even like in the past. It's Henry Cavill's Superman. It's Christopher Reeve. Like, this one isn't David Corn Sweat's Superman. It's James Gunn's Superman. Like,
Superman's James.
yeah, it's Superman's James Gunn.
I am personally really looking forward to how the villain.
Yeah, I can't wait for James Gunn to defeat the evil.
I might crash out in the middle of a theater if there's a James Gunn.
Yeah, no. If he tries to do a Stan Lee cameo type thing, I'm gonna freak out. I will freak out.
I might die. I might die in the theater.
Yeah, I might. I'll just dead. But
Yeah. Like I'll just be sitting there like watching the movie. Like, it's pretty good so far, and then James Gunn will show up and he's like,
he'll go.
"Howdy guys," and then
He'll go. Man, this movie is super, huh?
Superman.
Say that again.
You like this movie because it's directed by me, James Gunn.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's real quick. Last thing, we've been going for a while. Let's talk about a bit about F1.
Let's talk about F1 real quick, and then we'll cut it off. I thought F1
You
was.
just saw it.
I-
I watched it opening night in IMAX.
I-
You just
I
saw
saw
it. Did you
it-
see in IMAX or normal?
I saw it in IMAX. It was awesome. It was a really good like movie watching experience. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, there's like the little inaccuracies and all that kind of stuff, and like dramatizing and increasing
We're a little
stuff.
different.
But
I actually watch F1. Jake just knows passively about F1 from Instagram.
yeah. I've
So
watched
for me,
a
there's
little
more
bit.
moments where I have to be like, well, actually, but I just don't do that, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's just a movie.
Yeah, you just have to appreciate
Probably
it
what
for what
like
it is. It's not.
actual like airplane pilots were doing during Top Gun.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Some more broader.
it's not like it's not breaking the wheel or it's not reinventing the wheel. It's like a classic sports movie. What you think is going to happen is probably what's going to happen, but it's good. It's a return to like
Simple story.
an actual yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every movie. Like you can just make a classic story that's still good.
Especially right now.
Yeah, especially right now when everything is
Nothing
like
good's come out.
just garbage. You can just make like a simple movie with a real plot and it's good.
3 favorite movies this year: Sinners, Warfare, and F1. Not necessarily in that order. I'd have to actually think about it.
Yeah.
Warfare is the only thing that's like it completely like this is something that's not really been done yet.
Yeah.
War movie, but it's like different than pretty much any other.
Yeah.
Sinners is literally just a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
It's good though because it does it well. F1 is literally just a racing sports movie.
Yeah.
It's good because it does it well.
Yeah.
I like that they had the drivers in there. I know some people think there should have been speaking roles to the drivers. Maybe I think some more of that would have been nice, but I also am like realistically looking at it in the sense of like they were literally just filming this movie during the middle of an F1 season.
Yeah.
It's not these drivers' priority
To be in the movie.
to act in your movie.
Yeah. They're at a race. Like they're not gonna be worried about the movie at all.
I was not expecting Max Verstappen to have the most speaking lines out of the driver.
Yeah. That was
hilarious to me because Max would have been like the last driver who would actually sign up to do a speaking line to the movie.
yeah.
And then I do one of my favorite lines just as an F1 fan is Brad Pitt going, "This guy's good," when Max is chasing him because it's like Max is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did like that line. I do find it funny that Lewis Hamilton did not let them pass him on screen, and they were like, "No, I'm gonna have to crash in this race."
Yeah, that was so funny.
Dora farming in the movie, just like he does in real life. I do. I think the biggest complaint is probably the crash, the big crash in the movie.
Yeah.
Is a little goofy looking.
Yeah.
I would agree.
It's dramatized.
When I first watched it, it reminded me of the big crash scene in the movie Ferrari. It wasn't quite that bad. The Ferrari crash scene is horrible in the movie Ferrari. This one, it's inspired by a real crash that happened. They juiced it up a bit.
Yeah. It's a movie. Like,
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. You're not gonna leave. It's not like with Top Gun where you're like,
You're
for me, where I left
wow.
Top Gun, I was like, wow, they did it.
Yeah, like
That
that
was actually
amazing.
an incredible story. This one, the story is nowhere close to as good as Top Gun.
Yeah.
But it's well done.
Yeah, it's very well.
The movie is shot beautifully. It's shot beautifully. Like,
you feel like you're in the car, like
cameras all look great. If you're gonna see it on the biggest screen you can find with the best sound system.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a couple aspects. I wish there was a little more racing in the movie.
Yeah.
I understand you can't really show like an F1 race, but it's like I wish most of the racing wasn't just shoved into that montage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But overall, I don't have a lot of problems. Obviously, there's some realism problems. Obviously, a 60-year-old dude's not going to step into a modern F1 car
and
set
win a race.
flying lap that's the same speed as... No, but I'm talking like the first thing he does is step foot in an F1 car that he has never driven. It's a modern F1 car, very different from the one he would have been driving back in the day, and like just puts out a lap time that is within a second of a current sitting driver on the grid.
Yeah.
Who's clearly very talented.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. It's
And also he is getting permanently banned to the moon.
Oh yeah.
The
all
second
he
intentionally crashes.
Yeah, all the stuff he did, like he's never touching F1 again.
He took out my boy Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah, but that's the F1 movie. It was good. I'd recommend watching it
It was
if you
fun.
just want a fun
It's a
movie.
great watch. Also, it did pretty well at the box office.
Yeah, it did. It did.
And I believe they're fast tracking a sequel.
Really?
People's looking into it. I don't know how real those reports.
Yeah.
Just random internet stuff you see on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah. Well,
Could be real, could not be real. You never know.
who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have that much more to talk about. We did a lot of ranting about Ironheart.
We did.
Um,
It was a lot.
I mean, I agree. I agree with all the ranting. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
And a little bit of F1 talk. Next week, we're streaming again. It'll probably be on my channel.
Yeah.
Which is The Final Take on YouTube. This episode here will probably be re-uploaded to Jake's channel. We gotta figure all that out. It'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm gonna go leave a little 5-star review. That'd be nice.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Be called Subjectively Correct on all those. It'll always be streamed here on YouTube, either on this channel with Jake or on my channel. I think the goal will be to do alternating every week.
Yeah.
So goal's once a week. I don't know if we're gonna stick to once a week. That's the goal.
Yeah.
See what happens. But next week we'll be live late Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Whenever we get back from Superman.
We're watching the Superman movie, and then we'll be both in person, and we're gonna review the movie. My goal is to try to do at least the first 10 to 15 minutes spoiler free of that review.
Yeah.
It's hard to review stuff spoiler free, but
yeah, we can review it spoiler free.
That's the goal. It'll be an instant reaction to the movie. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it'll be a great time.
I mean, that's all. Like I said, it'll be live on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have.
You got anything?
Nope. I just thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week to The Final Take and watch our videos. Subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Oh, hey, look, fireworks!
Hold on.